Me About, the Guilty Gear podcast where we talk about your faves and why you love them. I'm your host, Dee. Hi, hello. And I'm here with my co-host, Jay. Hi, Jay.
Hello.
And today we're talking about the Heuner.
The one and only tuner, Haehyun. Another one of those characters that I think holds a very special place in the hearts of many people, despite, if we're talking in terms of, like, the actual narrative, being featured for a criminally low amount of time.
I'd argue against that. I think she got quite a bit of time. Like, she had the entire subplot of the game with, like, Japan. Like, that was her story, you know? Like, she was always the central character of that, which I think is more than people would remember. Like, she's criminally unnoticed. It's kind of insane.
Maybe then it's more about the fact that she doesn't get to hang out a lot with other characters besides, like, the three that are really highly tied to her. But yeah, here's hoping that when she definitely is included in Strive Season 8, that we get an opportunity to see her interact more meaningfully with the other characters, because I was preparing for this episode. As you know, I was there, scrawling the wiki for some good relevant quotes, either of her winning against people or people winning against her. And it is really, we're just talking about tuning, huh? It's really just like, wow, tuning.
That's her job. You hate an honest woman that does good work?
I don't hate an honest, hardworking individual. I am not a bum proponent. She's out there grinding. I respect that. I just wish we could get, like, some slivers of personality as well. I think that would be really cute. I want somebody like Slayer to win and be like, oh, you're this kind of person, but it's really just mostly people being
Jay,
like, what's tuning?
Jay, that sounds like bum behavior. I'm sorry.
It's bum behavior to talk about personality instead of your job.
Yeah, a little. You know what?
a little. Whenever I'm hanging out with people, the first thing that I tell them is, I work at a hospital. You don't need to know anything about who I am. Well, I'm about to fucking grind, baby.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
And so let's introduce the three Heuners that we have on today for Haehyun. First up, it's Iris. Hi, Iris.
Hi, I'm Iris. I'm an artist, animator. I made a bunch of random stuff in the Guilty Gear community. I think I'm the Heuner community name? I don't know. I'm gonna claim it. That's me.
Yeah.
I also recently made a video, just a clip set of Haehyun instant kills that got a weirdly high amount of views for me.
It was really good.
Thank you.
I'll link that in the description. You guys should check it out. It's really good.
Yes. Awestruck. I wrote a hypothetical what I think Haehyun's Strive arcade mode should be, and then I did not post it on AO3, and I really should fucking do that.
No, you should. The world needs more
formatting, and I'm lazy.
That was you? I saw it posted around on I think Twitter or Blue Sky or something, and I read it and it was really good.
Yeah, that was me. Hi. I've done a lot of stuff about around Guilty Gear, so
I'm meeting a celebrity.
Yeah.
And not to mention, you also have really cool art, which I'm putting up on the screen right now.
Thank you.
And next, thank you for coming on. Next up, we have Astro. Hey, Astro.
Hi.
When I was getting someone for a Haehyun, you were the first one I thought of. I needed to get you on.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Starside. You can call me Astro. I like fighting games. I like fighting game girls. I'm more active in the community for Under Night. Cool game. People should play it. But I really still like Guilty Gear, especially Xrd. Xrd is my favorite game to play, and Haehyun was a character of instantly gravitated towards because she's really cool and nobody ever talks about her. But there's of Guilty Gear stuff I love doing. There's of Guilty Gear stuff, fighting game stuff. I love doing wiki editing. Shout out to wiki editors. Gotta be one of my favorite genders. Okay,
Woo!
I think that's it.
And
I also do art. Fuck,
yes,
I
you do. And last up is Zenny. Hi, Zenny.
Hello, hi, my name is Zenny, whatever you like to call me. I'm a voice actor, translator, monitor for the Guilty Gear community. I am I'm Italian, I'm bilingual. I did a couple of skin mods. I also did 2 complete rehauls of voice lines, Italian Epic Chaos, Italian Leo. I'm also a 3D artist with Blender. I did a couple stuff. I'm not sure if
your Blender art is insane. I really like how you do lighting and things like that. It looks so good.
I mostly, the philosophy is just re-invoking the feeling that I had when I played Cruelty Squad, which is just my eye sockets are bleeding. I love this. Let's make it in Blender.
I completely get that.
I did a couple of renders, a couple of animations, not much. Yeah, mostly just VA and a complete fucking moron on Twitter. That's pretty much it. Yeah, and I really like Haehyun. I'm kind of new to Guilty Gear, but because I was more of a Street Fighter player.
Hey, just because you're new doesn't mean that you don't have extreme love for her, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
and then
you're not a Haehyun poser.
I'm gonna talk about more in detail when the subject is what's my story with Haehyun, but like I'm really like this character now. Thank you, D and
no
Jay, for
problem.
having me on this podcast. It's so fun.
And with that, let's get some Haehyuning in. And let's start off. I think the thing that comes to mind when you look at Haehyun, first of all, is her design. Like, she is in a giant, mechanical, old man, and she is piloting
It's called
it.
the boy mode bot.
She is boy moding out here. And what is it that you guys like about her design? I think she's clearly one of the most unique concepts in all of Guilty Gear. Like, I've never seen anything like her. Like, she's putting Diva to shame.
As the kid's saying, she's serving.
So true.
Okay, look
It's
at
interesting
that.
to me.
Color 1 versus Color 10. Sorry if my internet is bad. Like, my laptop can barely handle this game.
Yeah,
but
no problem.
All for
You're
Haehyun,
all
all for Haehyun.
Something that's interesting to me is she's very clearly inspired by Heihachi from Tekken, but she is not the like Tekken character of Xrd.
Yeah, because
The Tekken
that's
character
Ramethal,
is
isn't it?
Ram. Yeah, she is much more Street Fighter inspired, and
Yeah, I was gonna say
you were saying that there was
she has
a
Goken's design, right? She's designed like Goken as well, right?
Yeah. That's I was talking
Oh,
to.
yeah,
Iris
I see the
because,
Goken
like,
design
like a
now.
small briefing we had, and yeah,
Clap.
Haehyun, especially Junryoku, it's very much reminiscing to me about Goken, which was one of the reasons why I gravitated towards Haehyun, because like, hey, I know this guy. This looks like Goken, and then I played them, and
No,
then I
maybe-
realized, oh, sorry, go on.
No,
the-
you know, maybe like, Haehyun, like, found some sort of, like, old Street Fighter manual, and she saw Goken there, she was like, wow, that guy is really fucking cool, I'm
Yeah.
gonna commit identity theft.
Exactly. But it's like when you play, I played the character and was like, oh, this plays exactly like I'm playing Street Fighter 4. And then I always tell the story. I closed my eyes, then I looked back at my screen, and I did all the combo trials. I was like, okay, I'm sticking with this.
Oh my god. And if you
Character
close
crisis no
your
more. I'm
eyes,
sticking.
is
Yeah,
it
then I
almost
figured
like it's Haehyun?
I always have this problem with character crises and switching mains, but a Haehyun never happened. I played the Haehyun, like, okay, this was my main.
Isn't it
And
so
then I just
magical
went
when you
from
pick up a
Haehyun.
character for the first time and it just feels right? Like, you just know this is gonna be the character that you devote your time to?
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
That's how I felt with Ino. Like, as soon as I picked up Ino, and I was like, this is her. This is the character I'm going to put my time into, and I've never regretted it since.
It's because Ino is really, really cool. Sorry, this is the Haehyun podcast. Am I allowed to say that? Will I be shot?
Are we allowed
Absolutely.
to like other characters? I don't think.
No, in this world, it's only Haehyun and Jeon Ryuk if you get GTFO.
Also, yeah, to clear up some confusion for people who don't know Guilty Gear, Haehyun is the girl, Junryoku is the robot. I did the same mistake when I started playing this game. We are playing as Junryoku. The girl is Haehyun.
No,
Yeah.
we're playing as Haehyun piloting the boy mode bot after all.
Exactly. Yeah, but people
So,
do get
a question to all of you. Did you immediately know there was a girl inside the robot, or
Yeah, it's a
like when
girl.
did you find out?
I saw the girl.
I did
I
not
think
know
like the
that.
first time I saw Haehyun was like before I got extra in like one of those intro compilation things.
Yes.
So like I saw the girl first.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because
Maybe-
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's a very common community problem that a lot of people do not know there's a girl inside the robot, even
You
though
don't
it's
even know
like...
which one is her last name.
There's a girl in there? Question mark.
Yeah.
So I can't actually say. I think I knew from a very early point that there was a girl in Jeon Ryuk, but I originally thought that Haehyun was like this is a crazy lore drop considering everything about me. but I originally didn't really. It wasn't even that I didn't care about Haehyun that much. It was just like I consider her genuinely the most forgettable Guilty Gear character. And yeah, times have changed severely.
Yeah.
But
Oh my god.
Yeah, the lore
Sorry,
reveal is crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's insane. Like, how do you go from like, this is like, who even cares about Haehyun, and to then like, this is everything to me.
I think that's the essence of Guilty Gear.
Yeah,
Autism.
it's kind of funny.
Hey,
Go-
like it's so weird to me that people say like Haehyun is the most forgettable Guilty Gear character. SWAT. Anyone remember SWAT? Are we going to have a talk to me about SWAT episode?
Oh, yeah. You have to go back to
talk
Judgment for that.
Only if the community wants it.
Just you wait until I get the real deep lore cuts and I get the 3 Zakodons or whatever it is.
What the fuck? The Leopoldan episode.
I'm
The
waiting.
Leopoldan episode.
From the very beginning, I've been waiting.
With all of his deep, insightful lore.
Yeah.
Hold up, the
Yeah.
writing is fire? What?
The dog is a girl, did you know?
Hold on, this is fire. But yeah, going back to the question of
Yeah.
did you find out? I'm gonna be honest. Also, I'm getting my ass.
How
kicked on
long? How long did it take?
Only like a couple of weeks because most fighting games I played them with my brother, my older brother, and he introduced me to a lot of fighting games, Guilty Gear included. And I looked at the guy like, oh, what's that guy's deal? And he's like, that's not a dude. Like, and then he showed me the character render, and he was like, it's a robot being piloted by a girl. I'm like, what? What do you mean by that? And then just kind of stuck in.
I did not mean to go for Goldburster.
It's so interesting too comparing Haehyun because as this archetypal like compared to Heihachi, the king of Iron Fist, the source of all the patriarchal rage against Jin and Kazuya, this unbearable wall of manliness and steel, Goken, the person who taught the legendary Ryu and Ken and against Kuma and then you compare Haehyun, a nice healer girl and a robot that likes music and hanging out with boys.
That's what makes it like Haehyun such
And people don't know this. And people don't know this. Yeah. Yeah, and people don't know this, but Haehyun would solo all of them because she's just that cool.
It's true.
Haehyun diff, as the kids say.
We always gotta hop on the
Yeah.
power scaling at some point. It is very important.
After
I think
all,
it's
No,
definitely.
I think like the only correct way to power scale is via like how good would a character's social media posting game would be.
She is outposting everyone. Like she's not just a girl. She's not just like a nervous girl or anything. She is the girl. Like she's got her cat dubstep headphones on. She's in a gamer chair kind of. She's like reacting to everything really like loud, like like her posting game would be insane. She is online, I think.
Yeah,
it's
and
like
She would be like the top streamer. That's what her strat is actually. She just becomes Guilty Gear's top streamer.
no. It's
You
like
always see-
piling their setup.
You always see, streamer AU Bridget, streamer AU May. No, streamer AU
No,
Haehyun. She's already got the gamer chair.
yeah. It's
The
not gonna be
only
an
person I think who could outpost her is Zappa, but that's only because he would just post the most insane shit ever.
Yeah.
Where it's like he's posting like
And then
Sorry,
he'd be like,
that was on
and
the
then like
mic.
after Zappa would post that, he would be like, sorry guys, I got possessed again, oopsie.
Sorry guys, my wife was on the.
Hanging out with the best
standing with
wife
my
in the-
canceled wife.
Yeah.
It's like a Twitch streamer piloting her setup. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Imagine
pretty
if you just hop on stream and you need to pilot your computer like a fucking Gundam. Like that's how Haehyun rolls.
It's gonna be really rough to get a virus in that
Lateral
overheat.
thinking.
Okay,
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, do you say it?
Haehyun is like the greatest IRL streamer in the Guilty Gear world. That's it.
Absolutely.
So true.
She takes her setup everywhere, you know? She's set.
Yeah.
I did once draw her with cat ear head.
I think I remember. I think that's what brought it into my
Yeah.
mind space unconsciously.
That's really
Yes!
funny.
Sorry.
I
Anyway,
know, I'm dead.
Knowledge, experience, physique. Even if you are no match for your opponents in any field, that does not mean your all-out attack will not surpass them while their guard is low.
Woo! Last performance.
Something I like too about Haehyun is that, in comparison with Heihachi and Goken,
I really want Haehyun to get into Strive, so she...
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, so sorry. Yeah, I've been wanting Haehyun to get into Strive for ages because how come the one Korean character in Guilty Gear isn't in a game where there's a Korean dub?
You know, that's
You're absolutely right. It's kind of insane.
I actually use that Korean dub. It's really cute.
That is really interesting. That's a really interesting question you brought up. Yeah.
I
What
watch
is
a
the
ton of
Korean?
Daru Ino, and Daru always has the Korean dub on, so I get to hear a lot of Korean Ino, and she sounds very good. I like her a lot.
Korean makes sound like
Sure.
Kirby. Oh god, I'm so sorry.
Sure.
And
No,
I
no,
oh, wait,
and
never
I
mind.
don't know who would voice her in English. I don't know who would voice her in English, but I hope whoever they are, they will do an amazing job. I want Haehyun in Strive to be without that much of the boy mode bot in general, so we see more of her.
Yeah.
I already know the perfect voice actress for her. If she ever got in Strive in English, I need her to be voiced by Xanthe Hyun. I think Xanthe Hyun would be the perfect person for her.
Oh yeah, I like the voice she does for Jam in River City Girls too.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
So true.
Oh my
Also,
god, wait, you just reminded me that she's Jam's voice actress. Never mind, I'm wrong.
we gotta
Oh, it's
put.
okay.
Also,
we
I
can
do
share,
have-
we can share VAs. It happens.
Can we really be two girls who share voices? OMG.
I do have in my notes that I would love for her English voice to be Casey Mongelo. Mongelo? I don't know how to say it.
No, it's Casey Mangello.
Is that the one that did Shinji's Netflix voice?
Yes.
Yeah, they're really cool.
They are.
They also did Chilchuck
Clap!
in Dungeon Meshi.
They did who in Dungeon Meshi?
Chilchuck,
Sorry.
Ooh.
The
I
little
mean,
fella.
sorry.
little guy.
Oh.
There we
They're
go.
also the voice of Carcat Vantas.
Yeah, the canonical voice of Carcat Mantis, while Kira Buckland is the canonical Friska. as we
Oh
all
shit.
know.
Whoops. Here we go.
Welcome to the Homestuck
Um,
podcast.
But yeah, what I wanted to say earlier was that in comparison to characters such as Heihachi and Goken, they are these staunchly patriarchal, manly Japanese characters. It's interesting too that Haehyun is Korean, and that also she does taekwondo with her stuff. That's why all of her stuff is very kicks focused, I suppose. It's interesting taking that initial twist on it, oh, she's got a different fighting style than all these other staunch old men. And then also there's a girl in there and she's yeah.
I do want to
I
leave
think
that.
that's
Everything about her is betraying expectations.
I think that's sort of just the way that Guilty Gear designs their characters, that they will often take a archetype and then twist it. So Soul is yeah, it's our classic, kind of big beefy Shoto, but also he has he doesn't really have a specific fighting style. He throws you so hard, he ends up with his legs fully parallel to each other.
Also, the additional side that, this guy that fights in such a unique style that doesn't look like a fighting style, that just kind of hits you with brute force power, is a brilliant scientist who knows more, is a genius?
I
yeah,
really do-
absolutely.
Then you go
It's-
deeper and realize that's the self-insert of the creator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
No,
much.
I really-
both of them. It's a fusion.
It's something that I really do like to discuss on the podcast, especially that there's so much reverence for the characters that Daisuke creates with things like, oh, of course Soul doesn't have a proper fighting style unlike the other characters featured because he is inherently not someone who fights. He is a scientist, so he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He just happens to be really strong.
He's just like a bounty hunter who is busted and he just does shit, but he's not doing this shit with effort.
Yeah, no.
What I think is crazy too, he went to the Holy Order and was trained to fight like a Holy Order soldier, but he
then
just
he
didn't
just
retain
doesn't.
any of it.
No,
He doesn't
and
even use it.
Imagine being Kai or Cliff or any other member in this scenario and you just see this guy go train and then use none of that training.
He just gets in the class and
You're like,
he-
as you should.
Also,
But yeah.
Sorry, go on. I was gonna mention that Iris brought in the designs of Guilty Gear, and another thing I really like about Haehyun is that one of the things I know about Guilty Gear characters is that every character has their own weapons. So Bad Guy has the Junkyard the Junkyard Dog. Kai has the Thunder Trio. Ino has Marlene. And in the case of Haehyun, the character is the weapon. It only happens twice.
Oh,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
Because
true.
the only case is Justice I can think about, and if you stretch it, maybe Jam, because she doesn't have a weapon. She's a martial artist.
Yeah.
And
Or
Justice
maybe
is-
Slayer.
Yeah, no.
Well, Slayer also uses like claws and stuff too. So, but yeah,
and
I get what
Slayer
you're
can
saying.
regenerate his limbs. So like, and move
Slayer's
them
cheating.
independently. Slayer can regenerate his limbs and also like move them independently, judging by that one cutscene in Revelator. I don't think like they when they're severed should completely count as part of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but like, also
It's weird.
the other case is Justice, where like Justice is the weapon and the character, and this like Haehyun is one of the only cases where this happens. I think that's really interesting about the design of it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that speaks, if we want to loop back really briefly to the little power scaling bit that we were doing too, that it's disingenuous to portray Haehyun as not quite as powerful as somebody like Heihachi or Goken, because like we were pointing out, like her knowledge of tuning is like something that gives her such an insane edge over everyone else in the world, because that's pretty much as close as you can get to understanding the fundamental properties that underlie the universe without like ever having gone to the backyard. I think the fact that like without knowing anything.
Real quick, I was just gonna say I don't think I ever implied that Haehyun was weaker than Heihachi or Goken, and if I did, I'm sorry. That's not what my intention was. But yeah, continue.
But yeah, no, just the fact that like she can look at somebody like Ram or Elfelt and be like, "Oh, you're not human." When like, you know, obviously I think any Guilty Gear's like player's first inclination when they're doing that is like, "Oh, look at these like fun cool girls."
Okay, so what Guilty Gear teaches us with Haehyun, this lovely character, is that by having a music degree and being transgender, you can basically manipulate the universe's laws to your will.
It's true.
It's the next level of trans woman can double jump.
I was gonna save this for later in the podcast, but I'll gladly talk about it now. And I was gonna say that it's kind of somewhat similarly to Bridget. Haehyun is an example of FTM, MTF all in one. And I'll hear you saying, doesn't that just make her cis? No.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna explain
not-
it. Just
She's actually reached the prestige level of being trans.
yeah.
the double.
And
rank up.
I think it just shows you like how the interesting conversation too of how you can perceive femininity and how that affects people in general, where it's like a character like this, despite like whatever's going on, is just kind of intrinsically trans. She's intrinsically tackling gender, patriarchy, sexism, things of that such. Like she even has like somewhat internal misogyny, like with the way she treats like May initially, the way she treats like Jam initially, that she tackles for herself and then realizes, oh my god, why did I ever doubt these people? These people are incredible, and I won't doubt myself as a woman either. Like, you were saying, Jeff?
No, that's like actually a really cool character pull, and I do appreciate that it's something that Daisuke feels compelled to do with her character, because I think especially if you're existing in a space where you're making a character that's a response to a character like Heihachi, like pretty directly, it's very good to be like, okay, well, let's have an actual clear-cut argument against patriarchy, even beyond the point that it's like, it's stupid to discriminate. Like, you know, everyone is similarly capable no matter what. It's just about like living your life, and I think that that is very cool. And also just the fact that like, you know, sometimes the seeds of patriarchy run so deep that even people who are women find themselves being like, oh, well, you know, maybe women aren't as capable. And it's like, no, like it's very important to object against that and fight it no matter what. Even if you think that, you know, you've overcome everything, there's always that little bit inside that you have to be like, wait, no.
Whoa, her windscreen is so cool. I didn't know she had the DNA double helix. That's sick.
The like helix order.
I prefer
Yeah,
other
that's the
windscreen
tuning stuff.
because
She's just rearranging your molecules live on
she sticks her arm out and starts like fanning off John because he starts overheating.
All right. That one kind of reminds me of like going back to Street Fighter for like a millisecond. It kind of reminds me of Akuma.
Yeah, no,
see
talk
Akuma
as much as you want.
I saw Akuma everywhere, and like when I see her like back forward to the camera, like, okay, that's a raging demon pose.
Yeah, I almost wonder if that is
Raging demon.
intentional.
Yeah.
You know, you can kind of think of it too, like she has like, obviously she has unique stuff with her fireballs, but like she has everything that Akuma would have. She even has a demon kick too, like,
Oh yeah,
it
like,
doesn't go diagonal, but...
her fireballs, I think, are like some of the best fireballs I've seen. Probably my favorite, like Hadouken type attack I've seen in any fighting game. Like the amount of controls you have with the tuning balls is insane.
For those who are unaware of how Haehyun works in the game, do you mind explaining how Haehyun's projectiles work?
Okay, yes. So basically, by doing a 2, 3, 6, either S or H, you create this little ball called a tuning ball. You can either decide to let it go, to the entire the screen, or you can press back and forth, and you can make it go around as much as you like for like a couple seconds. I think that's the duration of it. And with this creates a lot of like trap scenarios where you kind of like you saw it the one with my matches when I'm kind of getting washed by Iris. See where like Iris moves the ball, and it kind of creates this mix-up scenarios of, oh, you need to block high, but you need to also block low. And this also extends to one of her supers, which is the super tuning ball, which I think Iris could do right about now.
Giant ball.
I don't use super tuning ball. I really should. I just don't.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm not familiar with the exact specifics. How does the tuning ball super compare to things like Venom Dark Angel? Like, does it have like extreme chip or things like that, or is it just used to lock someone down?
It's really it is behold my child, hold down the neutral. It's 5 hit, so it's not as good as like Dark Angel for chip. But it
I thought
can
it was
be
a guy.
moved- Holy shit, that's like the name of the guy who gets destroyed by chip damage. That's crazy. So it's not as good for like chip damage as Dark Angel, but it can be moved in all 4 directions, unlike regular tuning ball, which can only be moved left and right.
I think it's insane, like
that you do it at.
This also can create scenarios in which you do you like put the ball way far ahead and kind of push your opponent with push block towards the ball.
Yeah.
So that they get into this weird sandwich like maneuver. I think it's really funny. Also, another move I think we should talk about is her DP.
Shingen!
It has the input of DPK. But depending on which direction you hold and how much you hold it, you have different effects of it. Like if you just do DPK, you just do the kick in the forward in the air, and that's just DP. Works like any other DP with S. If you do the input and then do hold down, Haehyun will go in a stance and start charging up and then lose a kick. Most Haehyun players, the majority, like all of us, want to get into a situation where like you can bounce back with the kick because the red kick, when you do DPK and then hold it down, make the opponent bounce, and you can make it bounce for I think 4 or 5 times.
Astro, do you mind demonstrating? I will stand completely still. Do you mind demonstrating the kick loop for me?
Yes, sir.
No.
Quick loops are hard to do on
Oh, never mind.
Haehyun.
Iris is gonna demonstrate in the next one for me.
No,
I would have to do Shingen, which I cannot fucking do.
That's fine.
Instead, I will compensate with like telling like not so fun trivia fact. We don't know who voices Haehyun in the girl. We only know who voices Jeon Ryuk in like the machine.
This is true.
That's insane. I wonder if it's that it's reusing the voice actress from someone else then.
No,
Probably.
I don't think it is.
Probably
like,
like-
she doesn't. She only has one speaking line in her arcade, but it's completely unique. I think because it's like just such a minor role, the VA decided to go uncredited.
Well, there's
Or just, like,
several lines that
something
she
happened.
says outside of that. Like, I actually once...
She's
I
just
tried-
like
I should probably keep
screaming
doing
in
that.
her match outro.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
there's also she has a couple of other lines. Like, I think she has some lines during some instant kills, and she has a couple lines. I actually at one point went through her voice lines and just like wrote down all of the lines that she has. I can't remember all of them, but like I know she has one for if the time runs out, because she has a really cute like lost sprite where she pops her
She's
head
like,
out like a
"Ah!"
little cat. She has one for her wind sprite where she like fans Jeon
Do you
Ryuk.
want
I
to
think
get
she's
timeout?
probably-
Do you want to get timeout? Do you want to get timeout?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Check this out.
Her other voice lines?
Oh,
Wait, do the crawl. Yeah, do
Oh,
down
yeah,
and then
important
press
thing.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes!
So-
This is the most important part of Haehyun and known to
Also-
man.
I think I don't remember which move is it, but I think if you do 5S, there's like a little wind-up animation after it. Hold on, go far so you don't hit each other. Yeah, that one.
yeah. So
that one.
it's
Oh,
5-8.
whoops! Sorry! That was not my fault. I claim I did not.
Okay,
No,
let's do
no.
nothing. Let's do nothing. Let's do
Yeah.
nothing.
I think it was like it's 5S. If you do that little animation after it,
Let's-
I think that's really nice.
Oh yeah, you have a little.
Wow. Okay, I see. Hold on.
That's,
Oh,
you
that's
do it
sick.
with a kick, S and H, I think. Also, yeah, also
What?
with H.
What incredible details!
Yeah,
You know,
I
I
noticed
think
that-
no, continue.
that's like the first thing I noticed with a Haehyun because it was just messing around in training mode. Like, what the fuck are they doing? What that's cool as fuck. Why don't more Guilty Gear characters? do it?
Also, she has a really fun crouch idle. If you just idle whenever
okay.
she crouches, I really like this. She gets some electricity, just swatted away. I love that.
You know what it reminds me of? In Street Fighter 6, the secret Akuma taunt you can do where
Yes.
he sits down, he eats, and then he powers up and it's a super powered
And
version
then
of
you get
Akuma.
3 bars of meter and get 2 extra supers. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I'm a cool
That's
player. I
what
know that.
Street Fighter's all about, baby.
Exactly.
I guess while we're just waiting for the timeout here, a few more things that I was thinking about Haehyun's design is that they really stand out against the cast of Exert. I guess, you know, you could say that for a lot of the cast members, but they really don't speak too strongly to, like, the horrorcore kind of metal roots of Guilty Gear that a lot of the other characters do. I think Haehyun is one of the most striking designs because they're the most traditional, and it feels kind of like, oh, what are they doing here? And
Yeah,
you
they're-
Yeah,
have...
like, but then you realize that's a robot.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, again, just another
Haehyun is
element.
basically like cosplaying something that is already like wearing a unique costume. Oh, time up.
Oh,
Oh
what?
shit! It was round.
No!
It was round 3. Oh no!
Okay, we'll do a time on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a
If
timeout
it-
on our end.
If it counts for anything, too, if you're looking for a horror aspect, not that, like, horror is necessary for every single character, but there is something to Haehyun, and it's that, like, in her instant kill, the way she defeats you is by kind of hypnotizing you with the tuning. She gets into your very soul, your very core, and paralyzes you and makes it so you can't do anything, enough so that she can just slowly walk up and flick you and you're dead. Like, I'd say that's kind of scary. And, like, a huge display of power.
It's me, Haehyun. It's me, Haehyun. I am rearranging your molecules and will turn you into a plastic cup.
But
also-
yeah, no,
Jay, you were mentioning the difference between the designs because Haehyun really resembles more, again, a Street Fighter character, like a more traditional
Yes.
martial artist. Heihachi, Gouken. That's why they kind of don't fit, but at the same time, that's why they fit in the visual style of Exert. And this brings me to my next point. How are they going to transition it in Strive while making it new, but at the same time not betraying the original design? So far,
This is
we
a
have-
really important question, and it was something I've struggled with thinking about myself. I came up with an answer. I'll save that for after you guys
Alright.
give your answers, but it's a really difficult question to translate Haehyun into Strive because do you keep her in the robot and therefore perpetuate patriarchy? Or do you take her out the robot, but she does not have the Jeon Ryuk's imposing form?
Can I say
Yeah.
say my thoughts on it?
Yes.
I think Haehyun should like in her intro she should like arrive in Jeon Ryuk, but then like get out of it and then she uses just like parts of it in some of her moves. And then in her outro she's just like reassembles the parts and she's like, bye bye, I'm done here.
Okay, wait. Timeout.
See.
I actually never saw that.
Oh my god!
I like that. I never saw that. That's cool.
Her beard deflated. Oh my god, look at Haehyun in the center too. She's like
Yeah,
blinking
she's like a cat.
like a Looney Tunes.
Yeah, this is the kick that I was talking about.
The kick loops.
The kick loops, like the most important part about Haehyun's kick.
If you guys have ever been to an Exert local, a major, watched streams of Exert, you are very familiar with the Shinken loops because everyone in the crowd, as soon as a Haehyun gets going with the loop, will go, "Hey!
Hey,
Hey!
hey,
Hey!"
And speaking of locals, D, you actually bring this up, and I wanted to bring up something that I'm not sure, and a lot of people know who are new to Guilty Gear know. There's this legendary player that made an appearance, I think 6 years ago, in a Canadian Invitational Tournament, and they beat the current, at the time, Exer World Champion, called Initial T. Do you guys know who Initial T is?
No, I'm not
I
familiar.
vaguely
The
heard
only
of
one I was
them.
familiar with is Fu because
Okay.
I keep up with the NorCal scene a lot.
Okay, so in the Canadian scene, this player, Initial T, And their entire gimmick is they were a Haehyun player who played on a wheel.
Steering wheel.
On
yeah.
a steering wheel.
No! No, you're joking!
No. There's a Korea video. There's a Korea gaming video. You can put it in the description of the cast because I will DM it to you. It's 4 minutes, and it's just one of the most insane shit I've ever seen. And there was also one of the parts that contributed to me liking Haehyun because I remember, hey, this is the steering wheel person. This is steering wheel
That
person. I
is
like
insane!
this.
I cannot believe that!
And it's
Yeah.
also
Like,
very
how
fun
do-
because
I do think
Okay.
Haehyun is like piloting this thing. It must be the steering wheel.
no, it's like 2 levels, but like in the video, it shows that like you can move the character with the wheel, but they mostly use the D-pad on the wheel. But someone
I
could
see.
theoretically just do super tuning ball and they just start moving the wheel like they're driving on the highway. And what's that? The ball is
Oh
moving. What are
my
you gonna do?
god.
Okay, never drive a plane Haehyun. You lost.
Absolutely never
Drive
drive while
responsibly.
tuning.
You should
So
play
responsibly.
Haehyun while driving. The more you know.
Tune responsibly.
So not
Um,
only is this player like someone that figured out how to operate Haehyun with a wheel, to operate the tuning ball with the wheel, but then also beats the best Xrd player at the time in the Canadian scene with the wheel? That is so crazy!
They didn't move the wheel. That was kind of the part. Like they just used the D-pad. But theoretically,
yeah.
you could just move the wheel, and the character moves with the wheel.
Or I think they used the wheel whenever they were doing tuning ball stuff.
I never actually saw.
So when you say wheel, do you mean like a car wheel, or do you mean like a Mario Kart Wii style wheel?
No.
Like, what-
Do you
like-
know when you enter your car and the wheel, like the one used for racing games, that thing,
Yes.
with the
Like a Forza
PlayStation buttons?
thing.
Yeah, like Forza with the gears and shit. That's how they bursted while using right gear, and then they inverted their commands. Insane. I don't want to talk about it too much, but please, if you're watching this, people
I
watching,
think that's
go
the most incredible thing I've ever heard in my life.
look at the video. It's 4 minutes. It's one of
Yeah.
the most funniest shit I've ever seen, and it's also so inspiring, really, because anyone can win with anything, even with a wheel.
If
I can't imagine the BM if I lost the wheel though. I think I might have to uninstall.
Retire.
Yeah.
If we're talking about Haehyun players, could I have, because there are, you mentioned Fu, who I think is amazing to watch because he is an
Yes.
ID god. But it's also interesting comparing him to, I think, the other main North American Haehyun player, which is Joy. Joy, my beloved, my mentor, my muse, Smoothie King himself. Because comparing him and Fu doesn't really do kick loops. Like I was rewatching some sets. Like he doesn't really go for kick loops. I wonder if that's because of his like grappler training. He's just a very patient player because he is so good at defense, and he also he's like, I don't need to do kick loops. I just need to mix you up until you die because my mix ups do a bunch of damage because I'm Haehyun. But it's so interesting to watch. Meanwhile, Joy is just like, fuck it, I'll shrink it in neutral. And I love him for that. Joy, my goat.
I love a raw Shinken in neutral. I've been
love
trying to
raw
get that
Shinken in
out, but I
neutral.
just get punished every time.
Yeah,
I love raw
I
Shinken in
just
neutral so
don't do
much.
kick loops because I feel like they are inherently evil.
I think we should encourage as much evil as possible.
That's true. That's bars.
Revealing a
This is
lot.
where we include a fun Haehyun fact that red counter hit Shinken does on average 25% of a character's stun meter.
How many kicks does it take to kill Chip? like a Tootsie Pop?
That's a good question.
But can you imagine they turn back the kick loops and strive,
Oh
and they
my
put on
god.
different inputs so they're easier to
Like-
do.
I think like
Oh my
if
god.
I think like if Haehyun is skilled enough to do all of those taekwondo moves while make these robots all do all of these fighting moves, she'd be skilled enough to do those herself. Like she's technically a fighting game player.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh my god, yeah, wait, you're right.
So the other thing is because she has that windscreen where she fans off Jeon Ryuk, it's implied that Jeon Ryuk is if anything, holding her back, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because he cannot handle her power.
And I think that that's a really also good like kind of visual metaphor for the like terms of the patriarchy, where it's like, oh, you think you need this to uphold yourself and be effective.
Literally,
It's like
the
it's literally the
chain.
opposite. Like she'd be
There's
better
the
without
chain.
it.
The chain.
So, question: Are there moments in the story or lines that she has about how she feels about the robot? Like, how did she feel towards Jeon Ryuk? Because I know she values it as like a contribution of what her mother has given her and like as her duty. But how does she feel about like I know her biggest fear when Bedman uses his nightmare super on her too is that, oh no, I'm going to turn into a man, I'm scared, that kind of thing too. But like,
So-
how does she feel towards the robot?
This is where it's kind of complicated because I do think that Haehyun is meant to be written as honestly a little bit of an on the nose metaphor for being trans femme. She's
Yeah.
literally
Yes.
a woman in a man's body.
Yes.
But her likes are trimming his beard, which is a very masculine thing, and accessorizing Jeon Ryuk, which is a very traditionally feminine thing. So it's like, I that's why I'm like, I think the
Okay.
like gender
At the s-
fluid headcanon is actually pretty neat because they don't really. It's unfortunate to characterize her according to stereotypes, but that's kind of
Yes.
all we have because they don't fucking. They rarely show
Because
her
because
off,
Haehyun has
but,
not gotten like internal focus. The most we have is Haehyun the girl is very pink and feminine, and Jeon Ryuk the boy is very stereotypically
also-
masculine and blue.
And also in Strive, they make like one appearance and it's just Jinroku. Haehyun doesn't
Yeah.
appear in Strive,
That's
it appears
like
in
in
the
the
credit with the
credits.
node. Yeah, it appears in the credit with Daehyun, and that's it. And there's not even Haehyun, there's just Jinroku. Like, because
I'm gonna switch up
even if
opponents.
they forgot about Haehyun. And it's
They
kind of
forgot
like-
about Mario.
They forgot
Sure.
about Mario.
Wait, no,
Um,
no. I have a game theory. I have a guilty theory. I have a gear theory. Haehyun is
Gear
not beside the
theory.
robot. In that picture, Haehyun is not there.
So
She's
if you-
doing
you-
Oh, it's just Jeon Ryuk.
Yeah, she's doing something else. Haehyun is not there.
This is where I would like to say in like November, I read every Haehyun fanfic that was on AO3 at the time. So this is where I'm
Yes.
gonna plug. This is where I'm gonna plug Mechanical Soul by Broken Clover, which
It's
has
very
very
good.
good.
Chapter 2 is all about what if Jeon Ryuk had some degree of sentience, and it's really good.
I know
That's
that
it.
a lot of my viewers are more involved on the gameplay side of things, but if you are at all interested in the story of the characters at all, I mean, first of all, you listen to me, and I only talk about the story of the characters most of the time, but you should absolutely check out Broken Clover's fics on AO3 because
They're so good.
they are a person that have written, I think it's like 400 different stories about characters in Guilty Gear. They are constantly uploading, and they have so much love for the series.
Fix
Like,
it. It's so Haehyun over.
Broken
It's
Clover,
not
you're
Haehyun
the
over.
goat. Broken Clover, you're my goat.
and if I have to plug a fic, I have to plug Saya by, I don't remember who the author was, but...
Triptych. I have these in my notes. I have like a section of my notes dedicated to Haehyun fics that I think are really good and worth a read, and I put.
Go
Saya
right
at
ahead.
the- I tried to make it unordered. Saya was at the top because Saya is
Yes.
that fucking good. You left a comment on there, D, saying like this might be the best gear fic, and
And
you're just right.
I hold by it. Like it clearly speaks from like an internal place for the author. I really liked how much they connected with Haehyun's like Korean culture. I really like how much it connects to like what like piloting the robot meant for Haehyun in terms of like the connection to her mother and like her interacting with Johnny and how that would go. Like that's just canon to me. Like that is how I would see like her meeting Johnny. Like that's it.
Literally. I
so good.
generally am like not a huge fan of the trans mask Haehyun headcanon. That is the exception. If you're writing
Yeah.
Saya, if you're Triptych, you're allowed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know
That's
everyone
looking
sees
good.
it as a trans femme thing, and a couple of years ago I even said, like, explicitly, like, I don't care if it's a complete retcon, please make Haehyun trans mask, I need a trans man. But I think in recent years I've, like, gone back on it, because it's like, no, I think the more I spend with Haehyun, the more I do see her as, like, her being a woman is very important for her.
Yeah,
like,
and,
despite
like,
whatever, like...
She's and in her character design, like you see, she's literally shackled by the patriarchy. There are chains on that thing.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that, you're right! Oh
Look at the model, look at the model, look at the model. See the chains, the chains, the chains. Look at them. Look at them. See the shackled by the patriarchy.
By the way, everyone, if you see
fucking
that,
loves to put their trans characters with chains or shackles around their waists.
I hope you can forgive me.
This also,
But yeah, continue.
this also reminds me of this isn't Haehyun specific, but there's this trend with Guilty Gear characters. I'm not sure if I'm like the only one who knows. I'm pretty sure a lot of people notice this, but like if a character is a bounty hunter, in their design they have like a handcuff. Look at Bridget, surrounded by a handcuff. Look at Saul, handcuffs everywhere.
Wait, no, wait, are you like Haehyun's gonna kill people now?
Is you saying Haehyun's gonna be a bounty hunter now?
Hopefully. I mean, what?
Well, honestly, I think that'd be an interesting move for her character to have her kind of
She's a
break
tuning
away
hunter.
from
She
the
could be.
obligation.
Wait, I have
Honestly,
an
it'd be
idea.
interesting for her to use. It'd be interesting for her to like use bounty hunting as an escape from Jeon Ryuk and like the
Yeah.
I have an idea. I
expectations
have an
set upon
idea.
her as the tuner.
I
The
have
tuner.
an Yeah, the tuner. I have an idea. I have an idea relating to this. I have an
What's your idea?
And this idea is that if like Arxes, whatever, whoever understands the vision, she could be like Haehyun bounty hunter idea. She could be like the Vashti Stampede of Guilty Gear, like someone who just does
Yes.
not outright
Oh, that'd be
avoid
sick.
killing people. She avoids killing people. She only like tunes them. She only like tunes like the will to fight out of them. She's like, okay, I got my money now. Bye.
She doesn't. It feels like if you just flicks them straight into like the bounty collection dogs.
Zenny, to go back to what you were saying too, bounty hunter, biking, she has the claw on her arm. You're right.
Yeah.
Some sort of mechanical bust. And you know, it kind of reminds me too.
Be flying around like
Kick
a
loops!
pinball machine.
It kind of remind like we were talking about the Strive design, and I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, what if it was like the dude insta-kill. I'm sorry, I'm
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
and I
I'm sorry.
it's go for it. Look at this.
So hewn over.
Beautiful insta-kill. It's hewn over.
Do not resist. My tuning surpasses even the very logic of the soul. No amount of physical training or mental fortitude will set you free. This match is already over.
Oh my wa moshi.
They fucking die. And they do die.
You're already destroyed.
But Zenny, you were saying for Strive design?
I think we can take like the new
I love the
bedman route, you know, like how the bed is completely destroyed, but it's still holding on to defending Delilah. Maybe
You're
we can
saying
have-
like you want Haehyun running around in the back then?
no, not necessarily, but like imagine if we have a Haehyun.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
Junior
This is what
Pro.
happens whenever. This is what happens whenever I.
Kid destroys the internet. Like a Jinryoku that like imagine having like one arm off and you can see that Haehyun is still running around with like a half destroyed Jinryoku, and
That'd be cool.
somehow there's some sort of sentience. Talking back to the point about sentience and fanfics and shit, like some sort of like connection between, even if it's broken, even if she could fix it at any moment, she doesn't want to because it's like another person to kind of ooh.
I like the idea.
Yeah.
I like the idea of in Strive her having her design from her concept art because it's really fucking cool with the hat. They should
I
have
do like her concept art design.
Wait,
her concept art design. So good.
if like she's trying to like do her own thing, the hat could be like part of a disguise, and a cool cloak,
True.
You guys want to hear my idea? I thought of it literally this morning because I was thinking, I was like, how do you maintain what Haehyun is while still keeping the idea that she has this robot that she uses and that she can be the leader of her people and everything that makes Haehyun Haehyun and still have a narratively satisfying story? And it hit me, and now I'm positive that if she got added, this is what they would do. We've seen what they've done with Bridget. They are not afraid to transition characters at all, and they are not afraid to make stories that are true to their characters. My
Okay,
thing
guys,
is... Yeah?
Haehyun comes out as trans femme.
No. Real quick. Yes, but no. I'm building up to this. What I
Okay.
suggest they do, and that I think would be the case if they got added to Strive, is that Jeon Ryuk is trans, and Jeon Ryuk is then dressed up in womanly, but so therefore you keep that Haehyun is piloting the robot, and like you keep the trans femme aspect of her.
Oh, you mean like? Hold on, pulls out my notes. Hold on, pulls out my notes. Hold on, because I have this. Hold on.
And therefore, you know what this also fill? The notch needed space of there are no old women in video games.
True.
Actually.
I hope if/when she comes to Strive, she's either out of Jeon Ryuk, or she is outside Jeon Ryuk more, or she had Jeon Ryuk Mark II and he is a more feminine design.
That
Yes.
was sick.
John Ryuk Mark II is also like mostly red and has a red uniform and a cool sword and can copy everyone else's moves in a unique way.
Wait a minute!
Wait a minute.
Wait a second.
Yeah, actually the new character in Guilty Gear Strive is Haehyun the girl, just kind of piggyback riding on Robokai.
Robokai.
This is how Robokai can still win.
With regards to gameplay, like looping back just a little bit, I think it's really cool. Loop. I think it's really cool, and it's something I know I like to talk about on every podcast episode that we do, that there's such a degree of player expression in terms of how you are able to pilot Haehyun, because I think that's very evocative for the musical influence, that you kind of have your signature way of playing and tuning the instrument that is Haehyun, for one. And then for two, the fact that Haehyun is this kind of tricksy sort of set play and then also mix-up based character, I think really speaks to Haehyun's characterization of just being someone who fucking knows more than you. Like, just in all situations, like, I'm peering into the code of the world, like, kind of how we were talking about with Bedman, feeling like you're this mastermind in control of the round, and then that same thing being applied for Haehyun here, where it's just like, no, I'm the sage elder, I have read through everything already, you are going to have to break this mix, and I know you will not be able to do it.
I know everything. It's like that, and like we're all lucky. We're all so lucky that Haehyun is too nice to actually all of us.
yeah. No, I was gonna say the restraint that they show.
That's something that I think is kind of interesting, because I do think Haehyun was kind of intended as a coil for Bedman.
Yeah.
Because they're both like
Really?
very work-oriented characters who are like to some degree young. We don't really know exactly the age. Shit.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
But I agree.
And like they use, a robotic body to kind of fight.
To add along to this, Bedman Romeo is a character that specifically has only ever acted in a very selfish manner, where he's doing everything for his own goals, his own wishes. That selfish wish is actually selfless in the end, where it's like, oh, he's trying to save everyone and save his sister, but he acts in a very selfish manner where there's no extent to which he will hurt or harm someone if he thinks that the ends will justify those means. And we see that he's murdered millions of people. He's murdered an entire town of people just to save, like, the people in the future. And compare that to Haehyun, who acts in an exclusively selfless manner. Her problem is that she is so devoted to helping other people that she physically cannot help everyone at the same time. Her problem is that she wants to help everyone and is so deeply tied to everyone that she can't get to everyone in time, and she's overwhelmed. And that's like, I can see that parallel there.
And that means, to parallel Bedman dying partially because of like all of what he did, Haehyun's gonna gain immortality.
Yeah, she'll extra live.
That is why Haehyun is the most alive.
She will become a gear.
Yeah, she'll show up in Dual Rulers and be a gear. But no, yeah, I think it's
true.
interesting too that it's important that Daisuke shows that both of these kind of mindsets are equally destructive, though. Because it's like, and I think I've mentioned this on a few podcasts before, like, I think Guilty Gear is a narrative all about demonstrating the importance of kind of like generative selfishness, and I don't think, either of them are really displaying that, right? Where it's like they're both kind of destroying themselves and others in pursuit of something really single-mindedly, and then ignoring the fact that, there should be a place for them and for love and for making sure that, people can actually live.
Guilty Gear is a story about the guilt people feel and the initial impression you get of someone, that being betrayed, and then how they feel about living in the world from it. Mm-hmm. Like, sole bad guy is seen as this grand villain, this evil monster, the sole bad guy of the story, but he's really not. He's just someone that thinks of himself as this, like, person that can only produce evil in the world, but is not. He's just a broken man that has to learn to love humanity again. Yeah. And then compare this to Haehyun. She initially wants to save everyone to such an extent that she is willing to sacrifice everything about herself. She's literally not even living in her own body. She is living to what other people want her to be. What is destined from birth to be. Like the savior of the Korean nation, the savior of Japan, everything. She's highly respected. The Leo Whitefang clearly stops everything in his place because he wants to respect her.
And Leo's like a pretty self-important guy. If he respects someone, you know there's a real deal.
Yes, yeah.
And we see that how much this selflessness like tears her apart. Like she's constantly like freaking out inside her robot. She's constantly like, oh no, I'm trying to do everything I can and it's not coming together. Oh no, what do I do? And we see that she initially turns away help from people in the same way that she critiques Johnny of doing. Like, hey, I have this friend that never asks for help, so I will help him no matter what. She's also the same way, though. She never asks for help from anyone else and always does things and so that other people never have to worry.
I think she's very similar. She's got some similarities and some parallels with Asuka, honestly. Where, like, both of them try so hard to help people through very, like...
self-destructive means. Transformative means. Like, Asuka has transformed himself so much trying to save people. Like, he's got cat ears, he's got a clone, he doesn't understand himself. Like, he's not in tune with himself at all.
And unlike... And I think unlike Asuka, who doesn't really... Asuka, you know, he does stuff, but, like, he doesn't really do the right thing, and people or even if he does do the right thing, people still don't like him because he doesn't really consider other people's feels. Haehyun does consider other people's feels, but they don't ever get to meet her, they just meet Jeon Ryuk, so she kind of struggles in that sense, so...
Yeah, she can't
I think
feel
the scene that illuminates who she is the most is
they
her
only
scene
see
with...
the mask, not the face. But the thing is, Haehyun, like, and like it seems like Haehyun thinks she can't be anything without the mask. Like,
Shit.
I was gonna say the biggest example I think of when I think of Haehyun's character, outside of her hug with Johnny, which I'll talk about later, is the scene with Jam, where Jam is the most everyman an everyman can get. She is just an honest delivery worker working for a restaurant, and Jam is someone that will plainly call out someone's BS because it doesn't affect her. Like, she's just a person living her life. And Haehyun sees this honest delivery work and just says, you can't do anything, you don't have the responsibilities that I have. I have a much bigger weight on my shoulders, so I reject any help you get because you can't understand me at all. And I like, when Jam tries to offer advice of, hey, you should focus on doing only what you can do and give up on things that are bigger than yourself. That's exactly the advice Haehyun needed to hear, and it wasn't until that Haehyun tried the food that Jam had and realized, oh, I should open myself up to the perspective of others and open myself up to the help other people can have, that she then allows Baiken to help, allows Mei to help, opens up about why she loves people and humanity, gets Answer to help, and that's why she's able to save Japan. Like, she is the singular person that saves Japan because Jam was the one that gave that advice. And that's the key difference between Haehyun and Bedman, where Haehyun, while rejecting, like, other people's help, was able to learn that, no, I should rely on friendship, I should rely on the skills and abilities other people have, not just myself. The weight of the world is not just on my shoulders. It is, we are, as a collective, our humanity, can work and do incredible things together. And Bedman never once accepts outside help ever. And even when he does accept help, it's from someone that he thinks he's clearly using, but she was using him the whole time. That's the difference between them.
Bedman podcast. I find it so interesting that Bedman is like the only character in Guilty Gear who doesn't get a happy ending.
Yes,
So-
that is the most interesting thing.
No, you see, it's deserved because he cooperated with the Pope.
I think that's to build into Daisuke's idea that if you are someone that rejects humanity, despite however good your intentions are, if you reject humanity, you do not deserve happiness because you need to accept that you are not one but one of many. You must be your true authentic self. You must consider the perspectives of others, and you need to seek happiness. You can't just seek something
You
I,
cannot be a guilty gear.
If you
And
think,
like, smell of the game literally says it on the nose out loud. It literally just says, "I'm just a small part of the world," like that.
Another thing too that Daisuke's I think mentality is, if you do not feel guilt and cannot recognize that you've done something wrong, you do not deserve happiness because you are just a cruel, evil computer of a person, and that is what Bedman ends up doing. He only realizes he did something wrong at the very end after he's done countless wrongdoings.
You know,
Compared to Haehyun, who is open to recognizing that she's wrong, like she's a contemplative person, and she
Haehyun is
immediately
awesome.
goes back and praises Jam for her wonderful cooking. She praises Mei for giving her the charm, like, and praises Baiken for like maintaining the tree. She's a good person that does recognize and love other people compared to Bedman.
So, I'm gonna use this.
With
Go ahead.
Bedman, it just reminds me that one image of that goes like, gets criticized once, dies.
Literally.
it's like, no, it's like a fucking Gusto from Ratatouille. Hold on, I'm animating.
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Hold on.
It's
This
like,
is
gets
animation.
criticized once, fucking dies. Someone should edit Bedman over that.
I'm working on it.
Thank you.
But
Cook.
I kind of want to use that as a jumping off point to
Sorry,
say like,
I'm also a Bedman player.
No, it's real.
no, you're okay.
Yeah, continue.
I wanted to use this as kind of a jumping off point to say like, yeah, Haehyun I don't think is super popular. Like, okay, I think if you're like huge in the Xrd gameplay scene, then she's pretty popular because a lot of new players pick her up because her game plan is pretty simple. But like,
Yeah, I was gonna say
as
she's
a-
very popular in terms of Exer play rates, but not
Yeah.
in terms of conversation, which is weird. Continue.
I think that's because in her story mode and her arcade mode, she is, which is kind of fitting, I suppose, for her character. Her appearances mostly focus on the people around her. Like, yeah, it's her story, and she kind of has the whole subplot. But it really only serves to further Baiken and Mei's storylines, and in
Yes.
her arcade mode, it only serves to further Johnny's storylines. So, it fits with the character, but I think that's kind of why. Is like she doesn't really get much chance to further herself or Jeon Ryuk's personality because she's busy helping out the other people.
That's why it's such a difficult time to write a character who's so absorbed by other people, because then you lose the opportunity to highlight what makes her so incredible. And I think that's why it's important that there's cool details, like whenever Haehyun gets hit, you can see her surprised face and Jeon Ryuk's mouth being like, oh! You can see like her like geeking out and hitting the self-destruct button by accident, like being this like clumsy, like, sweet person that she is, and these little details. And I hope that these are things that get emphasized in Strive when she gets added. And I say when because she is getting added.
Manifest.
Like,
So
she is.
true.
She's like
So
one of
what
the
I
most
do like
popular
about it-
If we say if it's not gonna happen, we gotta say when.
True.
She is like stat-wise one of the most like popular characters.
Yeah.
They showed people's her, Justice, Jam, Robokai. They pretty much rank all high. Like after Venom, this was the ranking. And also,
Yeah.
No,
you know,
I think you should bring Haehyun in before Robokai.
Yeah.
I think you might get burned at the stake for that, like, because Robokai placed, what, 2 or 1?
I'm not Christian,
But
it's not
honestly, I
very
kind of
fair.
agree,
No,
yes.
okay. But Robokai is being bring back. Like I am of
Yes.
the theory that Venom and Robokai will be like two together. Like Robokai will be part of the
I
Venom
hope so.
arcade
Robokai's
mode.
disembodied head for Strive.
Yeah, it's like in a taunt or something, or like being mentioned by Venom. But this is not a
Yeah.
Venom episode. This is a Haehyun episode. We mentioned all
You know,
about
maybe the fact that like we keep mentioning other characters and how like they barrel Haehyun is like sort of like analogous to how she always helps people but never herself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're moving the attention from the character to the people around the character, and this kind of puts a question on me, like mostly the one is like, how, like, what genre of music? How would their theme song represent?
Okay,
their
okay,
ideology?
That is a good
Okay,
question.
I got stuff to say about this.
because let me finish this and I'll.
Sorry.
Yeah, let Zenny finish.
Because
Sorry,
every
sorry.
character, no, it's okay, don't worry. Every character in Strive, like with the lyrics especially, I think that this is one of the main things that I prefer about the Strive songs or the Extra songs, is that the lyrics help you understand a lot more of the characters. Look at Soul; it's a conversation he's having about like taking up the land or something, and like how he reflects on life. Look at Slayers. Look at ABBA. ABBA. I don't like ABBA, but ABBA is one of my favorite songs in Strive.
any-
Look at the circle. It's incredible. I cry. every
Yes.
time I see
Circle
the
is really good. I want to like cover the circle one day because I really like the screaming part. Like circle. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just like hot take.
You know
It's the
what, my-
best song in Strive soundtrack. Putting it right now. The circle is
Correct.
incredible because like there's so much emotion. Like the story of Bedman and how he does Romeo doesn't get an happy ending, despite everything, despite him changing, despite him loving his sister.
It's because he's a nerd.
Also because nerd.
No, I can't. We can't. This is a Haehyun episode.
Exactly.
Weird. Don't worry, this is still relevant.
This
Okay.
is relevant.
I think
So how-
to an extent, to some extent, I think Romeo kind of gets a happy ending because he just cared about his sister, and his sister does get a happy ending. But for him, he doesn't get a happy ending, but for his sister, he does. So it's like
He gets a happy ending, but at what cost? He has fully sacrificed every single aspect of himself and is like barely human anymore.
So
And
Yeah.
now all that you have are the remnants of what he was in the bed, and
Great.
like that like active "I will protect you no matter what," compared to like someone like Jeon Ryuk, where Jeon Ryuk is just an extension of Haehyun. And to go back to what Zenny was saying, I was thinking, as you were speaking about what Haehyun's song would be like in Strive, and what came to mind, have you ever heard Heihachi's theme, or like Genmaji Temple in,
yeah,
Tekken
I know what
8?
you're talking about. Yeah.
It has a lot of chanting, it's this very drum-heavy thing. What I think would be really cool for Haehyun is if you get Naoki, and the song starts off with like a bunch of drums, and it's him chanting, kind of similar to Baiken's theme, where it's like
The
maybe you
Mantra
get.
of Life, yeah.
I don't think he speaks Korean, but I would love it if he could get some like Korean chanting. Have that go on for a while, and then have Aisha come in, and she's singing like, I have to save everyone, I have to do this for everyone, and then as the song transitions towards the end, it's like, I will be myself, I will do this, I will, there's nothing that can stop me, and
Kinda-
I will be the savior of myself.
Kind of like a duet.
That's a-
It's been a while since we actually have a duet in the Strive
Yeah,
sound.
okay,
That's really
so
sick.
I want to
dude.
say
I like
I
it
don't
a lot.
think Naoki and Aisha have ever sung a song together for Guilty Gear.
No, they did.
No, that Ramlethals.
Ramapho's team. It's very good.
Oh.
yeah, okay, so in terms of Haehyun's like singular theme as of us recording this, because she will get added to Strive, the tuner, like aside from the usage of like basically 99% string instruments fitting because she's the tuner, that's what she does, and it like manifests as strings. I asked a friend of mine who's Korean, and they like sadly said that like in terms of instruments there wasn't any real inspiration aside from like the feel and vibe of a string instrument being like the core part of it all.
I saw that that Haehyun herself, or Haehyun, sorry, is named after like the instrument that she plays. Like the instrument
yeah,
she plays
the-
is called the Haehyun.
Yeah, I was literally
Which I-
about to say this, but yeah.
I saw someone make a joke where it was like, this is like Eno being named like guitar. Like, oh, this is guitar wielding the guitar. Which is kind of funny.
Jinroku is a giant instrument.
Say that again?
Jinroku is a giant instrument. If you really think about
That's
it.
a good point, yeah, like she literally is playing an instrument and tuning it to her needs.
Yeah.
Haehyun is on a completely different level because she's playing an instrument while playing an instrument that is playing you. She's on level 3 instruments.
And like people don't appreciate her. Haehyun could solo you.
Completely.
This is kind of away from what we have been talking about just a little bit, but I did want to say, and maybe it's not quite as fun, but if she ever were, I shouldn't say if, when she's added to
When.
Strive, when she's added to Strive,
She will be a
manifesting.
Strive.
Yeah. Summoning my power. I honestly, maybe it's not like super subversive and fun. I think I would just like her to be like there and huge and buff and like maybe at most you could have parts of Jeon Ryuk come back as like maybe like bits of armor that she's wearing, maybe almost like Potemkin, but it's still
Yeah, I
mostly
think that would
her.
be really cool.
The end of
It
the
would
day,
be
it all
cool,
comes
but at
back
the
to
same time, it's been 3 weeks. Are you suggesting that Haehyun gets on gear and goes to the gym?
She used
like, in 3
tuning.
weeks?
She used tuning to get huge.
Okay,
That
At the
can't
end
be
of the
insane.
day, it all
Very
comes back to,
person.
man, wouldn't it be cool if her stripe design was just her concept art design? It all comes back
Yeah.
like
Okay.
the crab.
okay, I bring you this. But what if her design is she's out of the robot and picking up what Jay said? What if she like wears the Gisa as some sort of cloak? No, Levi's gonna
That'd be
change.
cool.
There's some sort of cloak with a hat. Maybe give her a pole. Why don't fucking give her a pole? I don't know. Always, everyone looks cooler with a pole, in my opinion. Like a
And
wooden.
a
tuning
meter.
balls
She should
kiss.
have a meter. She should have an extra meter.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a tuning meter. Like a tuning meter. I don't know. They really
Yeah,
like
you're
adding
right.
Oh, that'd be
meters.
cool.
Like a meter on how high is the tuning meter? How much damage does the tuning ball do, or how much you can control it?
Thanks for
I'm
the
not
text
sure.
message.
I'm not sure.
There
if
was
I
a
can-
moment whenever you guys sent out a blue tuning ball at like the same time and they just kind of kissed. And no one acknowledged it, so I had
What if we
to.
were tuning balls and we kissed?
Wow.
What
Wow.
if we kissed the Japan hole?
Oh, actually,
balls is-
can I take that as like a complete launch pad onto ships?
That's
Am I
Yes.
allowed
really
to
yes.
do that?
actually. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, fuck it. I have no idea on this. Like, how do you ship
So-
Haehyun? I'm sorry.
I have been informed that there's a sizable Haehyun biking community, which I had no idea was a thing.
I have no knowledge of this. In my experience, the most common Haehyun ship that I see is Haehyun Alpha.
Really? Is that because
Yeah.
they both have that same kind of like extreme energy about them?
Maybe?
Like they both have hyper reactions to them, I suppose.
That's a good question. I actually genuinely don't know. And the ships that I've seen with Haehyun are Haehyun Elfelt, Haehyun Bedman. I've seen one fic with Haehyun Bedman. Haehyun Dayun, which I think is
She's
just
cute.
it's cute. I believe that's the ship of choice of Furry Roll, who I am bringing up specifically because they drew one of my favorite pieces of Haehyun fan art of all time. I believe that's their ship of choice. I think. If I'm wrong,
For
I'm
those
so
who
sorry.
don't know who that is, Daeun is the character, it's the girl with the orange swirl hair that is Haehyun's assistant that we see in Haehyun's arcade mode for like one scene, and she's just like kind of concerned about Haehyun
And
as a
you
nice
see
girl.
her in Strive when you see Haehyun.
Also, apparently she's in the Korea stage from Plus R, which I
Oh,
did not
really?
know.
Wait,
Wow.
what? Really?
Yeah, you see her as like a little girl. I did not know about this until I was looking at the wiki last night.
Wait, D,
That's
boot up plus
incredible.
R. We need to check. Boot up plus R. We need to check.
Zion.
Red X of Death.
That's insane.
Yeah.
No other character has something like that.
That Goldust brother is what reminded me.
Oh, true.
I've also
yeah,
seen
yeah.
quite a bit of a Haehyun jam, not in fics, but in terms of art. Because
oh,
probably
and then-
because like, yeah.
Well, I've seen a lot of friendship fics, like again, Broken Clover the Goat.
Yeah.
But the best ship, of course, is April. Haehyun April, let's fucking go! This is a ship that I made
That's
up
always been you.
because-
That's you.
This is a me ship. But I'm the only person who draws Haehyun regularly. I'm allowed to. It happened because I drew that meme image of like the guy celebrating for getting third. I drew that with Haehyun after I think Combo Breaker, where Fu got third, and then I was like, oh, I need somebody to get kissed, you know, because that's what happens. And I drew April, and that started April, the best ship that has literally no reason. If I can attempt
It's cute,
to
at
defend,
least, and that's all you need.
yeah. I can actually give a reason. Which, like, I think April is like a very effortlessly cool person.
The irony.
You know? Like I don't think she's like I think she's definitely the coolest member of the Jellyfish Pirates, even though she is very in the background. And I think that would just work really well with somebody who forsakes being
Background.
known for being
Yeah.
helpful, you know? Shrugs. Hateful's the best ship though. It has literally no fucking evidence or anything at all. It's just I like it.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. This
Yeah.
is not going to block.
I wanted to bring up as well, recently at the most recent Resho Mania, the NorCal tournament held by Pat the Flip, the main headlining event was Fu versus Dame Mendo, which has been going for about 3 years now, that rivalry, which I thought was cool. And Haehyun was the main character event for, like, Irene drew Haehyun as the main art, and really cool art, by the way.
I do have in my miscellaneous notes, I do have a section about fan art, and I did write specifically, hold on, sorry. Coquette, if you're listening to this, I really like the way you draw Haehyun, also I think you're fucking awesome, there you go.
Yeah, Coquette's incredible.
That's my on that, Shrugs. Yeah, Coquette draws Haehyun so pretty.
Are there any tips you want to give to people that are trying to draw Haehyun for the first time, or if it want to draw Haehyun or anything?
Fuck. So I will say, like, I do have a tendency to simplify Haehyun's design. So like, I don't draw her like hair tie. I don't draw like her headphones have the word Tesla on them. I don't draw them. The like frills on the bottom of her, like the top of her hanbok, I simplify that whenever it's like, it's actually really nice, but I just simplify that because I didn't realize. But what I will say is, the general way that I draw Haehyun is I just push all of her expressions to the max, because she is genuinely probably the most expressive female character in Xrd.
She is. Especially, like, she has, Jam has the most animation frames, and that's, besides Answer's scarf, but, Haehyun is the most expressive, like, Xrd woman, and it's only in, like, basically, I suppose, 2 animation sequences, which is her unloading out of the robot, and also her end screen of Xrd, where, like, she has so much lip animation, and she's got really chubby cheeks, which I always thought was cute.
It's so squishy! I think it is a mix of she came out in Rev 1, so the animators had more time to get used to the engine, and also, and if you look at her concept art sheets, every expression that Haehyun has, Jeon Ryuk has, and vice versa. So
I had no idea. That's so cool.
Yeah,
they are.
It's from the like newly released pages from the art book. I thought Radiant Dawn was playing for some reason. Sorry.
Obsessed.
So,
yeah, Zenny?
Can I take this opportunity, since we're talking about drawing a Haehyun and using Haehyun for creative project? Can I do a quick plug real quick?
Absolutely.
If you want high, efficiently rigged and high detailed model directly from the games, Guilty Gear and any other games that use Unreal Engine, you can join the Blender Access Animator server, which is the server I am from, that helped me learning to become a decent, like, I don't animate, but help me making all those cool renders you saw, and I hopefully that you
guys should absolutely join the Blender Discord, because it has created such incredible talent, such as Uzulak, who did the Evo intro trailers, like the incredible work.
And also, because we have a rigged model of both Haehyun and Jeon Ryuk, with everything, all the accessories, the seat, the chains, everything completely rigged.
That sounds difficult.
It is
getting
kind of
all that to rig.
But we have like systems to rig, and we also have some members who are genuinely incredible. Shoutouts to my boy Verero Bello and Looper Hontropy, 2 of the best animators I've seen in the server.
I love Vero stuff.
He's Italian as well, so that's how we get to know each other. So like, it's also funny, like, if we often BT together, we just talk Italian, no one understands us, but we just vibe with
It's
that.
really crazy, too, that you guys are able to animate the Xrd models, because I remember seeing Apauga say once, when he was animating Slayer's Xrd model, and he was like, I am never touching this again, the Xrd models have so many bones, and they're impossible.
Yeah, they have a shitload of bones compared to like the Strive models, mainly because the Strive models are like organized completely different, like more organized, especially the models I use, which mostly are Chaos, Asuka, and stuff like that. It's kind of difficult for like first-time animators, so like if you wanna animate or render stuff with Guilty Gear models, my suggestion always goes to pick either Potemkin or Soul. So mostly Potemkin because he's just big
Yeah.
and has a lot of like.
Do not pick a character with a jacket.
Do not pick Happy Chaos. As someone who loves Happy Chaos, do not pick Happy Chaos because the
What about without the suit though?
you need to remove the jacket. I had to
Oh,
make
no!
a separate jacket model because the jacket is glued to the bones of the arm. So if you tilt the arm, the jacket moves with the arm. And the first time I was like, what the fuck is this? And my friend was like, yeah, you just have to like separate the jacket from the model. And it took me like 20 minutes, but
I've heard horror stories involved with the Chaos model. I didn't realize it was that bad though.
Also,
oh no, where it's like
Twilight
glued.
Level.
It's all part of his plan.
Every
It's
model
part of his
has, like,
plan. He's trying to cause chaos, he's trying to be happy, and this is chaos.
The
Also-
ultimate villain.
every model that has long hair, pick Zato. Fuck Zato's model, bro. That is insane. Also, too, Slayer's model with the cape. If you see Slayer animations on YouTube, notice how many of them don't have capes. I saw only a one of them made by Uzalak. It was incredible. But like, most animations don't use the cape because capes are a nightmare to animate. Long hair are a nightmare to animate. Faces, well, not so much. Speaking, you spoke about the Haehyun and Johnny hug. One of the members I mentioned, Rupert Entropy, made an incredible animation.
Oh, the reanimated story mode!
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's him. One of the incredible reanimated bits. And it was so good looking. Also, the syncing with the mouth and shit. It took him a really
Do you know how
time.
long something like that took?
I remember, like, I generally an animation, depending on the length, it could take either weeks or months. But like, it's very rarely where an animation took. Like, my first animation took me like 5-6-ish hours, but because it was a short animation, it was a meme. But I remember I did. Have you ever seen the video of the guy playing, putting a ball in his hand and then playing with his dog? I did that for Ram's dog. That took me like 2 days to make, but it was my first animation. But because especially how many elements you have, it really depends on everything. And also the rendering part, that takes like a half hour. You think rendering a video is hard? Oh, when you press F12, your computer is dead. You cannot do anything with your computer until the animation is done. And what if sometimes it corrupts? Oh, that fucking sucks. So
oh
that's
my god, I've had videos corrupt and I've seen what it's like to edit my videos and render that. So imagining that tenfold seems like hell.
But that's why I mostly stick to like doing renders and still images because they're way easier to render, but a lot of those have a lot of intricates. For example, if you're a new animator or a 3D artist, listen to me very carefully, pose the highlights. If you don't pose the highlight, it's kind of a unspoken rule we have in the server, like in the Blender Arxis animators, that the first thing we tell to new animators and new renderers is just pose the fucking highlights. Because it looks sloppy if you don't. It doesn't really affect much, but it kind of looks sloppy if you don't, and you kind of want to improve at any possible render, anything you want to make. You want to improve with time, and that is one of the more common mistakes people make. It doesn't really change much, but it helps us. It helps you realize, oh, the positions of the bone of the face and the positions of anything on any part of the body, and how to especially move, delete, resize bones. And all the stuff you need to learn to do these things and basics.
This is
about
fascinating.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I never thought I could actually speak about it as some sort of authority figure, which I am not because I'm a fucking
I really like hearing about it. I wanted to ask, which one is more difficult to pose then and to work with, I suppose? Haehyun the girl or Jeon Ryuk the robot?
My
Because
personal
Jeon Ryuk looks like the pants would be difficult, right?
not really much. Like, my personal experience point to Haehyun the girl being very not difficult, but like a pain in the ass to animate because when the character is put in T-pose, the hand goes slightly under, like the slope, what the fuck is called, the sleeve. And the sleeve is slightly longer and the hand is shorter. So you have to kind of bend the sleeve because the sleeves have bones too.
Yeah.
I was making a render for it for this podcast where I just took a reference pose of Akuma and just put a Haehyun in it. And it kind of just gave up on it because it was like, okay, I'm going to do something else. I do this a lot, don't worry about it. I'm just the worst example of this. But like, for me, mostly it's a Haehyun the girl. But
on the subject of that, I was going to draw for my profile picture. I was going to draw like oh hey, Hyun with bunny ears, and then I realized actually no, using the fan made like Venom ball I made for Hey Hyun the girl is funnier. So that's why this is my profile picture for this.
Unrelated question, because I'm looking at your Haehyun ball, and it reminded me, I've never seen Haehyun's reaction to Dizzy's IK. What does she do? Is it like Jeon Ryuk just going, oh?
it's Jeon Ryuk going,
believe
"Oh."
so.
Oh!
I
Yeah, I think
think
it's
John.
Ryuk.
I think Jeon Ryuk is just like stone faced.
She took her hands off the controller. She's like, I'm done.
Yeah, I ain't fucking with that. I ain't fighting this. I ain't fighting this. I am fucking
She's
I
like,
am
I know
walking all
everything
that
there is to
to
know
you.
about the code of the world, but you could turn people into balls?
Hey, bro.
And to jump to another topic, this was something I wanted to say at the start of the podcast, but then I completely forgot because I was Hyunin out completely, and I love her. But Haehyun's name and origin, are actually references to Guilty Gear's, Korean composer for, Guilty Gear 2, if you're not aware of that. His name is, Shin Hae-shul.
That
that's
was
where you
cool
can
as
see, like,
fuck
the
on my end. Sorry.
Yeah, and Hai is, you can see, like, represented Haehyun as well. And I think there's references on her clothes as well to him.
Yeah, and also her music, her theme is a reference to like the compositional style of that band Next as well, which is interesting to me. I think it might be one of the few Guilty Gear songs that is not based off of a
Daisuke theme or anything.
or is not is not primarily inspired by like American or British rock bands. It's inspired by a Korean one, which is neat to me.
And I wanted to
speaking of,
say,
hey, look at that, the tuner. Sorry, I don't know.
yeah.
You just have it set to that. That's so fun.
I love the tuner. But I wanted to say that singer sadly passed away not too long ago, and so for this podcast I will have the entirety of the Guilty Gear Korean OST playing throughout it, and I hope you guys in the background of us talking appreciate this music and appreciate the good guy that worked behind it, because clearly Daisuke misses the guy, and I really like his work on that OST, and I'm glad that Haehyun is like a small tribute to that guy as well.
Hell yeah.
I didn't know that. I actually never listened. I didn't know this, and I never actually listened to the Guilty Gear Korean soundtrack.
It's
so
very good. It's completely different from how Daisuke composes. It's a lot more like hard bass and like it's just like a bit more like shreddy metal. It's cool. And in conversation with that, the tuner is my favorite Exerd theme outside of the vocal themes. It is so good. And Jay, I told you that not too long ago, and you said, "Oh, it's not that good. It's kind of forgettable." And you're insane for that.
Okay, baby.
I wanted to point out before the conversation changes topic. When the Haehyun is stunned, there's like a Joryoku. There's a little like low battery sign. I think that's really funny.
Yeah.
I saw that. It was cute.
Yeah, you guys saw it when I was getting ready to have my ass kicked.
I would actually like to say I do love the tuner. I love the bit where it goes. That's great.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite extra theme though, because I think the thing is the other extra themes
Are really good.
with characters who are veterans have the benefit of they have songs to take inspiration from. Like Magnolia Clear is just happy love song version of Be Just or Be Dead is great.
Yeah.
Haehyun doesn't have that, which is kind of funny because I think Haehyun a little bit feels like a missing link character who was just who like only got introduced in Exerd.
Where she's like not as like, yeah, I see what you're saying. I was gonna say like I think the chorus part of the tuner is so good for me that it shadows like the rest of the song, but the part where it goes boing, boing, boom, boing. I think it's such like a jam. It's like I really get into it, and if you notice too, I don't know if this is, I think it was intended. That section of the song actually is in tune with her kick loops, the Shinken loops.
Okay,
Shinken loop to it.
and so I have horrible news. It kind of isn't.
It's not?
No, it makes me so sad. But it is not. It is not. I actually have it in my notes of like it's so sad, but I've tried before. It's not, unfortunately.
I'm sorry for spreading misinformation. I swear I thought I saw it. Oh,
I love
man.
spreading misinformation. Maybe I'm wrong. It's been a hot minute since I tried to do it.
I have misinformation time. Haehyun will not be in Strive.
Oh, true.
Oh,
Information.
It's misinformation, chat. Misinformation.
I was about to argue, and then I realized, oh, it's misinformation. I get it.
You know, talking about sound and music, it kind of. I remember a point Astro made, like a point like something I said that Haehyun's VA is not credited. No, the Jap like.
Yeah, it's me.
Anyway.
Oh,
it's
true.
you. And this kind of fuck, I had a talking point. I forgot about it. Can we cut this out?
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
I genuinely had a talking point about like VA and how. Oh yeah, I had it now. So how I think that we should like not improve, but like have more lines for a Haehyun when she comes to strive, and maybe like in her super, like every character has a cinematic super and non. Maybe in her cinematic super, her and a Haehyun both like echo each other and say the same thing. That would be really cool.
It'd be cool if Jeon Ryuk becomes like this big microphone and she's like shouting, going like, ah!
Or maybe like going back to the gameplay, maybe like what if it's just she has Jeon Ryuku's fit, but Jeon Ryuku's like become like an extension of herself, like two giant robotic arms, and she does everything, and then just Jeon Ryuku's arms just do like add more to her strength. That makes sense.
I just realized, guys, we have Haehyun, who plays the Haehyun and plays other people's instruments. We have Ino with Marlene, and in Strive we have Elfelt, who started a band. I think we have a band for her. I think we have Speanza Fanaticus.
They're called the Yuri sisters.
That's the third member of the Speotus Fanaticus.
Yeah.
Note. Note.
I do want to say, I wish I had the original poster rights to this, but I did have an idea for like what I think Haehyun and Strive's gameplay would look like. I think it would be more focused on the set play aspect, because Golden Lewis kind of took her, you know, looping wall break stuff or wall bounce stuff.
Yes, behemoths.
So that's part of why I think like having her be outside of genre would be interesting, because she wouldn't be a big body anymore, you know. My idea, because Strive loves their like two-step set play, is she would be
like
able
Johnny Card and
yeah, she would have her, you know, her Shinken, her Hayabusa, her ball. My idea is that she could do a channel, which puts her in a specific state where she can go into her red versions of those specials, but those red versions of those specials can actually be chained into themselves. So if you use a red special and then do a special in a minute, then the thing goes away. But if you go from a red special into another red special, then it'll let you continue on with it. It's my idea.
You know what'd be really cool? If you give her a bedman install and make it so she can enter a state where she only has red empowered specials.
So
and leading to her have like. I know bedman install is not good, but like I think you can make it work if it's like, okay, well, she enters this state where she just becomes a better character.
I love fighting Strive bedman because they're always so cute.
I also love fighting JS the character.
What about the inputs for Haehyun? Like we briefly mentioned it, but this is mainly goes to like people who are playing Haehyun right now. This is a question I have for myself ever since I started playing her more, and going back into how Strive kind of simplifies kits. Should Haehyun have all his specials or the very different variation of Jingen like has different inputs, or should we keep the DP and then go down, DP and then go forward? Because that thing for new players kind of is being animating. It was animating for me, but then I just got more better into it. Like DP,
maybe they would simplify the DP so it's that everything becomes a quarter circle. But then I know that interferes with some of their kicks. But I guess I can see the problem. Yeah.
No, but like
I don't think the DPs are too difficult because there are DP characters in Strive already. But I see what you're saying, where it's like chaining them.
That's where I kind of said I think they should go into like a thing where you do the red moves as like a state that you can loop rather than a specific input that you have to hold. I think in Xrd, at least whenever I was again not super knowledgeable about Haehyun, she was kind of like one of the hard characters. After playing her for a bit, she really isn't.
Yeah.
It's just that stepping stone that most new players are just not willing to step up. Unfortunately, most people who play the fighting games are not willing to do the simple step up of just sitting down and learning a character. I've experienced it with friends who just quit fighting games because they couldn't get best inputs. And they
I
try
know
to
exactly what that is. I have friends that are the same way.
Yeah, and I'm like, you can't remove this. This kind of moves on to like simple controls, and I'll try to simplifying everything, which in my opinion is not really a bad thing. Like Strive isn't cutting down movesets; it's just simplifying them for players who aren't really familiar to then go back into the previous games, which is what happened to me. I wasn't really familiar with Guilty Gear. I was afraid with familiar with motion inputs, but with Guilty Gears like supers and shit, I wasn't really familiar. Then I got better in Strive, and then I got back like again to Exert. Then I started playing Plus R, Justice main by the way. Then I played Missing Link, and then
Justice
it's just incredible. And then it just kind of just bounces back into becoming better by just going in reverse.
I think continue.
It's always interesting to me how, like, whenever fighting games want to, you know, bring in a more casual audience, 99% of the time they do that by removing motion inputs. Like, you know, Grand Blue or Shoot Fighter 6, they'll do that by removing motion inputs. Whenever motion inputs are, you know, kind of a universal fighting game thing. If you learn how to do motion inputs in one fighting game, you learn how to do them in all of them. And it's like, I feel like, in that case, it's not really the problem, you know?
Yeah, it's a fundamental of a fighting game. It's the motion inputs. People don't like them, but they are here to stay forever. If you learn them, you're not gonna learn this game. Like, you just have to go through a small hurdle, which isn't big. Small hurdle. And
I think Haehyun's clap is the funniest move I've ever seen in a fighting game. That is so good.
Oh yeah, because one thing you can do, I'm gonna need you to stand still for a minute. What you can do, go move back and forth. You can move your opponent back and forth.
Right, and also if you fully charge it, it is unblockable, which I think is just funny.
She's literally tuning you. Get tuned.
Get tuned, bitch.
idiot.
I really like doing it against Biken because I have a friend who plays Biken. And she really likes to just hold the parry for as long as she can. So when I see her parry, I just start holding it. I just go, back and forth, back and forth.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
And then it becomes unblockable and just Owen.
Sorry, one moment. I need to just show. I need to show the art that I think about all the time. This is me whenever I say "get tuned, idiot." Owned. That's the Burry Roll art that I always think about all the fucking time. Shut up, Burry Roll.
It's Burry mentioned. That's a mutual mention.
That's
Yay!
That's not
I was gonna say that I think Haehyun, the reason why she's such a staple when it comes to Exer playing WoW is besides her being easy to pick up, like, beyond the initial fighting game input, the problem that you described, Zenny, is that I think she offers some of the most freedom in this game, especially, like, her set play things. You can control the orbs with, like, in any way you want. You can make it just be a simple fireball. You can have it be you approach behind it like it's Street Fighter 4 fireball pressure. There's so much you can do with that. You can use it for chip, you can use it on okizeme, Oki Queen right here. And then there's the kicks. You can be someone that like prioritizes kicks like Fu, or you said like the other player you mentioned, Joy, like plays Haehyun like a grappler, or it's like just grappler mindset, like using more of the set play aspect. The fact that Haehyun offers so much versatility in how you want to operate her really lends to the idea that she's this grand instrument that you can just play how you want. Like, that's the epitome of music, is that you express yourself.
Yeah, now that you have such an intimate knowledge of the rules, you can kind of flex and do whatever.
And that kind of, like, because Gold Lewis, right, he is kind of meant to be, like, sort of a replacement for Haehyun gameplay-wise, but, like, he only barely scratches the surface of her stuff. Like, he has
he is just a burst character.
He's not a worst character. He has a
burst. As in, like, he's like a one-shot character.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has, you know, the Shinkens. He has the Shinken loop, and he has. No, stop the timing. Shit. He has He has the Shinken loops, and then he has what is basically tuning ball hold forward. But that's kind of it. He doesn't have any of the set play stuff. He doesn't have any of the Hayabusa stuff. Like, he doesn't have a lot of what is Haehyun, because it's basically
me looking
like
at level 3 drone, you will never be tuning ball.
So true.
I mean, it gets
No, it
close.
should be tuning ball. It's a tuning ball.
The only tuning ball I like, the only tuning ball I tune is the quarter circle forward HP. HS.
My pronouns are tuning ball.
236 HS till I die.
I'm trying to channel my inner foo and do a bunch of just blocks.
For all of you guys, what would you say is your favorite input for Haehyun? What is your favorite button, I guess?
My favorite button.
You
tuning ball.
can't beat classic. You can't beat classic. You can't beat classic tuning ball TBH.
Yeah, it sounds. We just talked about a tuning ball. I feel like this is kind of it's a super specific question. I never learn how to answer this. Like, tuning ball is just one of. I said again. It's like I think it's the best projectile you can give to a character because it just player expression the move. You can do one with a tuning ball.
Whatever you want.
Exactly. It's like, in this, I feel like I don't want to just put this characters in pedestal because they're completely different. But this kind of it kind of resembles Venom projectile, especially in.
I was gonna
Exert.
say, I think Haehyun is the more sophisticated version of what Venom is going for with pooled setups, because I think it's simpler to control the Haehyun ball and decide what you want to do compared to Venom, where it's like it can only really go in set paths, and people use Venom balls kind of in the same ways, where it's like, okay, just setting up the Oki, setting up I'm just gonna hit this. Like, I think like Haehyun's balls are more interesting than Venom's.
Yeah, because like Venom is just positioning the balls and then making sure that the balls kind of reposition as you want them, so they make sure you kind of.
It's just something.
Cool. To bring, since we're talking about Venom and Haehyun, I know.
Can I really quick talk about
Yeah.
my favorite Haehyun move? My favorite Haehyun move. You guys get where I'm going. Hold on. I gotta pull out the image. Hold on. Sorry. I'm so
Kum
prepared.
move Haehyun.
There we go.
I'm in game. I can't check it. What is it, Jay?
It's 2K. It's 2P.
Yeah.
It's a 4-frame normal.
It's a 4-frame normal. I gotta get
Do
it.
you want me to do 2P? I will do 2P.
Yeah.
There we
for
go.
you.
2P. In terms of normal, in terms of special moves, it's easily Shinken because I like to just go for it in neutral. Because fun fact, red counter hit Shinken does 25% on average of a character's burst meter or stun meter. And also fun fact, you can IK is optimal if you're funny about it, but 2P is genuinely it's such a nice move to just throw out as a panic button. It is a 4-frame normal with a huge fucking hitbox. Like, it is big and it's so useful. I enjoy when something like, you don't even really need to use other defensive options as a beginner. You can just do 2P. It's like
The ignorance of a 4-frame button, your greed sickens me.
It kind of reminds me of Soul 5K in season 1, where it was like fucking
3-frame anti-air combo. Oh my god, Soul 5K kills me.
There's no way. Wow, that knocked me up about like 10 miles. There's no way he still gets Oki after this. There's no way he still gets combos after this. There's no way I die after this. No way.
He was a menace. Thank God he's kind of dead.
The fucking left leg of the Forbidden One.
Yeah, but now I have to see Soul mains on Twitter every single day being like, look what they took from us.
They broke our legs.
Be grateful they didn't take everything.
Mayman's eating good, chat!
That's the Chaos mains. We have nothing.
They had to. They basically robbed you blind. They took everything from him.
I mean, yeah, we
Rob,
kind of.
your chaos is still blue.
Yeah, we're fully radiated from the backyard radiation we got.
New update. Daisuke just decided for season 5. Happy Chaos is now green. Sorry.
Shit.
What the fuck?
Terrible.
Yeah, isn't he Irish?
I am now the Grinch.
Oh wait, he is Irish. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he now became. He's like, fuck, I'm the Grinch now. God damn it.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
I only have one other note here for Haehyun, and that is, I really like her hair, and I like her handbok too. I like that it's in the shape of a chords that she plays.
I also really like.
I really like the beard on Jin-Gyoku. It's
Yes.
so fucking
Yes.
stupid. I love it. It reminds me of a Zelda character. It's so dumb. I
Oh,
love it.
You're so right.
You're right, it
Use on
does.
Did she have metal wires in the beard?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of liked it. I just noticed Haehyun gave the robot tattoos, flame tattoos, to make it
Yeah.
like a hot rod.
Yeah, that is sick. That is sick.
This is my bone. This is my old man Sona.
I really do like Haehyun is probably one of the most unique hairstyles in Xrd, I would say.
Yeah.
You don't
I
really
really
see
like the-
split color hairstyles in Xrd, and also like the what's
I-
the
To compare her to, I've seen comparisons of Haehyun to
Fun.
Diva Overwatch and well, I guess like Penny Parker of Marvel Rivals, where it's like these are the girl characters piloting their mechs. You know, the Evangelions of the world too, with Rei and Asuka. I don't think there's anyone quite like Haehyun, where it's like the teen girl skunk hair. Like she's kind of a punk, and I really like that too. Like the way it's layered too with the stripes, I think is really satisfying to look at, especially with the deep color of her dress as well.
Yeah.
She's way more visually interesting to me than a Diva Overwatch ever could be.
And because like those characters
and
have
Margaret's
this
design in Rivals. She also has like
Yeah, Penny has like a thing like hair stripes, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, but I'm saying I like Haehyun's more.
Yeah, it's like those characters are more just going back to the thing about Guilty Gear characters that they just take an archetype, flip it on its head, and then make you react to the archetype. Those two characters are just girl and robot. That's it. That's what they
Yeah.
are. I oversimplify it, but those are what they are. Haehyun.
Oh, you're
is
forgetting. Oh, she's also a gamer compared to Haehyun, who is like
who is a real
piloting a
gamer.
person.
Not, you know what reminds me?
I like Diva and Penny Marvel Rivals. Objectively,
Yeah.
Haehyun is a more interesting character because she is
Yeah,
not because she has
absolutely.
more fewer.
Yeah.
And also, you were mentioning about like jokingly the gaming setup, but if you really think about
Fuck.
it, Haehyun is more like a sonar operator on a submarine. She has the headphones. She like has to move. She manipulates sound and to bend reality on her will. What does a sonar submarine like? I think we should more bring out the consideration yet either as a musician or simply just a sonar operator working with
To
sound.
go with the operator thing too, you can especially see that in her windscreen too, where all the warning signs flash up and she has to
Yeah.
forcibly eject. Like
Yeah.
I can definitely see the comparison there.
like a submarine blowing up. The real thing about it, she's just piloting a submarine on land.
Did you know? Did you
What?
know? The
Did you know?
warning signs are actually symbolic of that if Haehyun will stay in the mech forever, it will mentally kill her.
Oh my,
Oh my
gosh.
god, what?
I
Really?
did not know that. Wow.
Wait, what?
I had no idea she was like deeply connected in that level. What did her mom make?
Some
Is this really an Evangelion thing?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Ava actually.
Hey, you get in the
Haehyun,
robot.
get in the robot, or else Dio will have to do
Hey,
it.
you get in the robot. What the fuck?
Hey, dude, you must pilot the robot. No, I'm afraid. Dude, you fucker. Sorry, I can know that entire video from memory. I should not though.
Pilot the Ryoko Unit 1. Stay there, hey, Unit State.
Hey, Shinji, you better. No, I don't even watch it. I don't even watch Eva.
You know about cultural osmosis.
Yeah.
And also, Haehyun and Johnny's relationship with the hug, I think. It made me cry when I first saw it, because that was not what I was expecting from Guilty Gear, a fighting game, to have a scene where, a girl inside of another robot is basically tearing down the facade this other stoic man has, and just saying, like, hey, I will help you out no matter what. We are deep friends. You understand me. I understand you. And I will do
be
whatever
there
you
no
need for
matter
help.
what.
So simple. And
So
touching.
that is the interesting thing to me is Haehyun is kind of the only female character that Johnny interacts with in like a story mode who he does not either consider like a
Flirt with.
daughterly figure or a potential
Flirt,
romantic partner.
Yeah.
Which
It's
is
true, like, we had that proven again in Strive where Johnny interacts with Giovanna, and that, too, is in the context of, I really want to fuck Giovanna. Which, first of all, I
Which
understand that,
I
but
mean,
like,
true.
We'll give him this one.
He's cooking, but at the same time, he's cooking.
yeah. But like, yeah, he actually has a person-to-person human connection with Haehyun. That, like, even they had the joke at the start of May's arcade mode where she's like, "Wow, Johnny, I've never seen you interact with another man before. What's up with that?" And he's like, "Don't mind it. This is a personal friend of mine."
This is where I'm gonna plug my thick guys night, where it's all about Johnny having an existential crisis over not having any male friends. Thank you.
Yeah,
He hangs out with Leo Whitefang for like a poker night, and he just doesn't know what to do. He's like, "Well, I can't talk about fucking you.
but like, isn't Johnny the only character in the lore who knows about Haehyun's secrets? Isn't the only character who knows?
Well, but May learns it.
May
because,
Soul suspects because he knows that the head of the Kum family shouldn't be that old.
He cares enough about the Korean family politics, and yet he would act like he doesn't. Really?
It's all
So
part of
you're a
the
wacky
kayfabe.
little guy.
He's also a bad guy. What can I say? Just so bad guy. It's the guy we love.
Yeah. Is there anything my Mary Sue protagonist can't do?
No, dude, that just reminded me. Sorry, this is completely off topic. Whenever Elfelt got leaked for Strive, I joined the Elfelt Discord server, and then within 15 minutes, somebody said they don't like Soul because he's a Mary Sue, and I got so mad I had to leave.
That's a lot of
Never
discussion.
rejoined that server.
That is very much wrong. You get 3 red X's. You
Might-
boot
I mean,
up
You
Yeah,
get
the-
3 self-destruct.
This isn't the
3
Soul
red
episode.
X's, and you're booted up.
This isn't the
the
Soul episode.
Can I make a quick joke? It just hit me.
What's up?
Doing Shinken kick loops is like, very sorry about that. I'm gonna give you 5 big booms. Boom! Boom!
My friend sent me a video of that. It was like so funny because they were like doing boom or doom, but like,
The Costco.
but
guy-
like they didn't destroy the losing snack. So it's not boom or doom. It's just boom.
Haehyun is just Haehyun and Jeon Ryuk are the Costco guys of the Guilty Gear universe. Thank you very much. I'm here all day.
She's reviewing the double chunk chocolate chip cookies with him.
She's piloting Big Justice.
Alright,
No, Big
Johnny,
Justice is the
boom
kid.
or
AJ's
doom?
the dad. AJ's the.
Alright, Johnny,
Oh,
boom or
Kuma
doom?
Doom!
Wait, alright, Johnny, Hyun. Boomer Hyun, the chocolate chicken melts, or the culture of strawberry. I'm sorry, John Ryuk. I'm gonna have to go with the chicken melts.
It's Delilah. It's Delilah sending in a cameo. So sorry about your brother who died. He gets 5 big ones.
Oh no, I have.
She doesn't like Bedman. She'd be like, sucks to be him. There's 5 big booms for you.
Everything connects. It all makes sense.
No, it's the robot that sends the cameo. It's not Delilah. It's the robot that sends the cameo. That's
Oh
like
my god, I thought I was spectating. That's why I wasn't doing anything. Oh my god.
I think it's that shit, by the way. It's the robot that's sending the cameo.
Yeah.
Everyone is clearly missing out that Haehyun is the funniest character ever made. Like,
That's what I'm saying. She's the most autistic character in Guilty Gear / Pause.
I mean,
and that goes in like every respect too. Her gameplay is super fun and engaging with the kick loops and the set play loops and like all of that. She's super fun to watch. She's super fun as a character. Her interactions with Jeon Ryuk, like everyone, you gotta get on Haehyun.
Ask any Xrd fan, they're going to say that they love Haehyun.
Yeah.
but then you
No
ask
one gets the crowd hype as much as Haehyun, deadass.
Yeah.
and then you ask them to play A, and they're like, oh.
But I wanna play So Bad Guy. I wanna play Johnny Funny. Well, your main Johnny loves Haehyun, and like, this character's cool, so like, joke's on you.
Can't we all just get along like the characters? I don't know about you guys also, but I think I am out of my notes personally.
Is there anything more we need to say about Haehyun?
Yeah, I think I covered everything I need to say.
Yeah.
Besides, with Zenny, I really like how Jeon Ryuk is animated with the beard and stuff. I think, like, in terms of an old man master, Jeon Ryuk plays that part really well and looks really cool. And the game feel of landing the kicks with Haehyun and everything with the normals feels super responsive and good. Like, Haehyun's a fun-ass character to play.
I think I
Astro
said it.
Astro, do you want to say something? I heard your voice with me checking.
Their internet might be. Oh,
I don't know.
So
It was
we're
like
all
they
kinda-
wrote some messages about how much we were going to do this for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
hey.
Is it? Okay.
All right, is your internet back?
No, it was fine the whole time. I was just kind of zoning out because my back hurts like hell.
Oh, did
Don't
you?
worry, it's
Okay.
ending super soon.
Mhm.
I just didn't know if Iris had anything left to say.
I mean, I
oh
totally
yeah,
wrote-
I forgot to say at the start, at the very, very start, that I do voice acting, and that when Haehyun gets a Strive trailer, I will voice that.
Hell
That's
yeah! Hell
true.
yeah!
Hell
dude.
yeah!
No, it's okay. You also reminded me. I do voice acting stuff as well, and when a Hagen releases, I will do a Hagen Italian.
We will show. We will show.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Thank you. Like I did already dub over a reveal trailer before, like there's a trailer for Under Night 2. I will do that again and again and again for other characters I like.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing before we
Wait,
we end this podcast. Oh, yep.
Yeah. Sorry. I purposefully wrote my notes to be kind of just a bunch of stuff. Like I didn't expect to get to everything. I did want to mention one thing though, which is I think the other really popular headcanon I see about Haehyun is that she is mute. I see this a
That'd be
lot
cool.
in. Yeah, and I think it's pretty cool, except I think a lot of the time people write her as mute, but she uses ASL and she has somebody to interpret it. I don't know how much I like it, because I feel like she's too outspoken and stubborn to wait
I
for
will
somebody
say,
to
yeah.
interpret for her.
Mm-hmm.
That I think she's frustrated by her lack of communication, and I think the fact that she does communicate when she's out of the robot and how she presents in the robot, like, yeah, I can see muteness taking away from that in some angles.
Maybe
This
she
is
could
why
do that.
I am once again saying Broken Clover is the GOAT, because they write Haehyun having mutism, but only really having it outside, like only really, very rarely using it and never really using ASL, because she wouldn't learn ASL if she never intended to be outside the robot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Broken
Even
Clover is the
learning
GOAT
ASL,
once again.
Like, it's not even like we don't know the commonly spoken language in the Guilty Gear world, right?
Mhm.
It's kind of just everyone speaks whatever. I don't think they've ever focused on it because they don't have an answer.
Man, I love Tekken.
Yeah.
I love Tekken after Tekken 6.
I generally though, whenever I see somebody write Haehyun with mutism and using ASL, they generally have a reason for it. Like Truth or Dare at the Side of Mystery Liquid by I Eat Rocks, which is a very good fic. It's a high school AU, so it makes sense that she would have it, you know. But
Yeah.
generally, I just think she wants to call people a bitch now. She doesn't want to wait for somebody to translate it from her signing.
Real.
She wants to call someone a bitch now. Okay, that's it. That's
Yeah.
kind of the last thing that I wanted to mention about the
So
humor.
yeah, right before the podcast ends, I have one question left for everyone, and it's that if you had to convince someone to play Haehyun, what would you tell them?
Tell them
If
that
they
she
want
is-
to pick him up.
Okay, I would tell them that she's very, very, very cute, and that's what convinces me to play fighting game characters personally.
Real.
Can I just show them my Haehyun art and just say I have autism about her and I think she's really cool? And she's also not that hard, guys, I swear. Kick loops are funny. Okay, maybe I can just show them the instant kill video.
Yeah, there you
Your
go. You
instant
have
kill
something.
video's so
Yeah,
good.
You have a Haehyun portfolio.
My Haehyun demo reel.
Yeah,
The Haehyun curriculum.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
The
I feel
Haehyun
like-
portfolio.
I feel like what I would say to people who want to play a Haehyun is to keep in mind that a Haehyun has a big learning curve at the beginning, but they will become easy the more you play them. And they are a character that spoke to me, like Jay said at the beginning. They spoke to me personally, and they spoke to many other people. And also, they have incredibly technical but simple at the same time mechanics. And even if you're scared by their inputs, don't worry, they will become the easiest shit in the world once you actually get down to getting the finger motion.
And as you
So-
said before, this is a great character to pick up if you're coming from Street Fighter. Like, I'd say maybe
Exactly.
even more so from Kai
No,
or
yeah,
Soul. Like,
if you-
Haehyun is...
If you want to pick up a character, if you want to learn Guilty Gear, pick up Sol or Kai because they will teach you everything. They will teach you everything about Guilty Gear. But if you want to pick up, if you're coming from Street Fighter and you're still not comfortable with the Gatling system, Haehyun is right there. Haehyun, they have a link system. Like the combos work a bit differently, and they're also more ground focused, like characters like Sol or Kai or whatever. If you play them like you play a Street Fighter character, you will get results. But then, if you want to learn more Guilty Gear, you start hovering towards Sol or Kai or Mei, or it really depends what archetype you want to play. So yeah, mostly just for people transitioning from Street Fighter and for people who like setups and really fucked up inputs.
This is Street Fighter for the character, I understand.
Street Fighter for the character, true. I wasn't a Golden player in 4. I really didn't like 4, but I did enjoy 4.
4 seems like a fun game. I love the OST for 4.
4 is okay-ish. I'm not the biggest fan of 4, I'm gonna be honest. I'm more of a third strike guy. I'm a third strike guy.
I don't play Street Fighter. I solely there's them for the OST quality.
Oh, the OST is incredible in every game, except maybe in 4 too.
I will say, I think, once you get used to Haehyun's kind of intimidating inputs, she is generally a very easy character to use. Like, the only thing that I, as a Haehyun player, I think I really need to learn is I need to get better at going from, like, 2D into Shinken, because that is a thing. And also Shishinken loops, which are so fucking intimidating, but they're so sick whenever you pull them off.
That's always the satisfaction of fighting games, when you have something you know, a goal of something you want to do, and then actually landing it. And I think it helps that the feedback for that is so cool. It's like the dream cancel combos of Ed in Street Fighter 6, where it's like, if you can train really hard to do this specific thing, it'll look so cool, it'll feel cool, it'll be cool.
Or
It's about having a shonen training arc in real life. It's awesome.
True.
Also about it reminded me of the Oro combos from Stressa 5. Like,
That's so cool. I like watching Brian F do those.
Shout out to Brian F. the GOAT. Put a lot of time into those, and like with Haehyun, you will be scared. Like, you open the character moves and you see all these inputs, you will be scared, because I was scared. But then you realize as you play as you play them, you're like, this is actually not that scary. It will become natural to you. But like, that's the thing for every fighting game. Like, the more you play, the more it will get natural to you. I was scared as shit when I started playing Chaos, because I jumped into Guilty Gear with Chaos. Now with Leo,
that's a difficult character to start with.
Yeah. Then I gravitated towards Leo to understand the game better, but then I came back to Chaos and everything just clicked. It will click eventually. And when it clicks,
It took me like 5 separate times of trying to learn her before May and Strive finally clicked. But now I'm having so much fun with her that I got a tattoo. I got her tattoo.
Oh, that's so sick! You gotta send me a picture of that later.
Also, what is it? Oh yeah, even if I'm like the newest out of these Haehyun players, I've only played them consistently for like I think a year or so, but they will give you results in the end. Haehyun, if you just want it for numbers and wins, it will be a hard slope, but you will win eventually.
Haehyun is not top 5, but she is a very, very stable top tier. You know. Like, I suppose A tier.
The issue is that she has bad matchups with the top tiers. Like, she really loses against Johnny. She struggles with herself out.
It's kind of like Falco and Brawl. I think it's kind of, I know a lot of people play Smash here. I don't think a lot of people play Smash here. It's like a Falco and Brawl, which is Falco isn't a, wait, was it Falco? Or was it Fox? I think Fox and Brawl, yeah. Fox isn't a bad character in Brawl. It's just that he has a lot of bad matchups with the top tier, and that's the problem.
To be honest, I think we should fix this by having Johnny automatically lose to any woman he plays against.
True.
Have it be that when you pick Johnny and you go into a game, you have to flip a coin in real life, and if it lands on tails, you stop playing and lose.
Yeah. If you don't believe in women's rights as you play Johnny, you will instantly get 2-0'd.
The real Johnny comes to your house.
If you play Johnny and don't shake your head the entire time to show you don't support
Guys, you gotta be careful! You're falling into a trap, though. If you say that about Johnny players, then they're gonna hit you with the reverse Uno card and pick Zato instead, who hates women even more.
Oh, no.
No, the solution to that is just to kill Zato again.
And with that has been Talk to Me About Haehyun. Thank you all for coming on. Thank you all for listening to Haehyun. I think she's a really wonderful character, and there's a lot of cool stuff with her. She is also the owner of the coolest stage in this game, which has been in the background of this video.
The Jeon Ryuk estate.
Very cool. please pick up some Haehyun. She's a really cool character, and check out all the art and voice acting and incredible things that these guys have done, because I think it's all really worth your time and fun. Jay, you got any last tiny things to say?
The Huner.
I got one last thing to say as well.
Yes.
Kum Haehyun transgender swag.
Real.
Swag!
Next week we'll be doing a very, very special episode for Kai Kisuke, so I really hope you guys tune into that as well.
No way.
But yeah. Bye everyone.
Goodbye.
Everyone.